in the past, the Black Panthers would police the police. While armed, they would follow and watch cops while they were in black neighborhoods. Would you want to see that again? Do you think that would make our streets safer? Would it be beneficial to teach our children that cops are deserving of an armed response? So I forget exactly what inspired me to write this one, because we were supposed to do this last week and I forget what I just. But I think it's an interesting thought, right? Like, I think we were talking about guns, but in any case, like, if we are saying that we should be able to protect ourselves from the police with weapons, then should we go all the way with that? Should we like have an armed force to police the police? Is this, or would this make our streets more dangerous with like confrontations with the cops? So yeah, I'm wondering where you all are at on this. And I didn't think about this, but I put B more first, so oh boy. B more, what are your thoughts on this?
This is one of those subjects that always tend to get people fucking gassed up. But straight up, guns are bad, right? Only cops should have them. Not only should only cops have them, we need to commission, we need to direct, we need to motivate police officers to go door by door, street by street, and ensure that they're all eradicated, right? This will lead to the best results. Right? Nothing would, the best solution in America would be a world where us, the working class, are down here. And then we have overrulers above us that have the means of self-protection. And all we can do is sit back and just be like, you know what? I love it. Fucking love it. This is amazing. No, in all seriousness, it needs to be simply an option, right? The means of self-defense needs to be an option. I'm not saying you need to grab your gun and go point it at a cop, that you need to post up with your AR-15 and let cops know who's boss. What you need to do is ensure that they know that we're dangerous and we're down and we're capable, right? And that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking for. It's a very simple request, because once you give it up, you're never going to get it back.
Sig.
Man, policing the police. You know, the Black Panthers, they had some pretty good ideas, but they also had some pretty bad ones. I think that their decision to police the police at the time was a very good idea. Okay, because the police were absolutely out of control, and having a force that could actually just stay there and like something that Black people could actually count on to actually keep them protected, because Lord knows the state wasn't doing it for them, was very good. I think that if such a thing were to happen today, it would only inflame things and make things a hell of a lot worse and all that stuff. I don't think it would necessarily be good. There was a lot. If any of you ever look up a lot of the shootings that did happen when the Black Panthers were policing the police, a lot of it get pretty brutal. And I think that if you had that stuff like incidents like that happening right now with social media, it could only exacerbate things and drive things completely out of control even more. So you throw smartphones in, it makes you just got a complete clusterfuck.
Wiggle.
Yeah, I don't like the framing of that last part. Would it be beneficial to teach our children that cops are deserving of armed response? Um, First and foremost, like, no, these are community caretakers that are just simply doing their due diligence. Like, why would this be seen as an armed response? It's almost like you think that of the police. I think these people are just community caretakers. Then beyond that, like, yeah, this is just an establishment of like dual power. It's like if it's like I think Fanatiq brought up a point earlier. It's like originally cops were supposed to be like from your neighborhood, local, et cetera, et cetera. So this would be doing that. And a failure of like a system, a governmental system, you'd have the people from their community doing it for their own, and then establishing this dual power where now people know that they're protected because their community will do it unless if the government doesn't. And so it'd be nice to go to the store and know that my neighbor is there, not the Black Panther or what have you. It would be my neighbor. I would know who the person is. I'd say hello, and then I'd go into the store and I'd leave, and I'd feel more protected. And if you don't like that, then maybe have community police instead. Somebody from my area, rather than someone from like 60 minutes away.
Okay. So we're gonna have a fight here. Let's go.
With who?
With me. We're gonna have a fight.
Oh yeah. Prime is gonna be on the suburban side.
Prime, I started off with your take already.
Oh no. I love you, B more. Let's go for that.
Yeah, I think obviously it's a great idea. I don't think you would be sending a poor message other than the message that checks and balances are a good thing. And I would say that's probably the most important thing that the framers gave us, right? Like they established the president, but limited his amount of terms. They give you the different the three different major bodies, right? Legislative and executive and judicial, right? To make sure that they're all like checking each other to make sure that no person or no individual entity is getting completely out of control. I think all of that stuff makes sense, and I think the idea that there would be a body that was like helping to keep police responsible, I think it's a good thing. Do I think that there could be negative ramifications for it? There can be. I could easily see people like maybe some forces getting out of control and doing some nonsense. But ultimately, I think it's a great thing. And again, I would think actually with cameras and everything right now, I think it'd be the best way. So if there was something to erupt, if things got too intense and somebody actually did something stupid, they would at least document what it would happen, and that would unravel the fabric of this country. But at least we would have like a visual representation of like what these demon police officers are. Not all of them, but most. So yeah, I think it's a great idea.
All right, Pi, bro.
Yeah, no. I think the only people who should have guns are white people. No, of course not.
Or no, the Kobe take. Only landowners get to have guns.
Oh, only
I see.
landowners. No, let me stop. No, I actually like this idea, right? Like, yeah, why not? Why shouldn't we have like Wiggle said, like community members just like doing community service, making sure the neighborhood is safe, checking in on people, right? Like everyone has that one old ass neighbor who no one really gives a fuck about. Well, congratulations, you have your community serviceman there, and he's gonna pop by and make sure they got their mail or like they don't need anything from the store. And if something's wrong, they'll take care of them. Like I'm okay with that. And of course, yeah, like these people need to be armed, and like if the police have a problem with that, I need to wonder why. Like, what is it about an armed civilian that makes them feel so at threat? Like, do they see us as a threat, the people they're supposed to protect? Because if so, then that's a problem, and then we would need to examine the systems that make them see us as a threat, because they're supposed to protect us. They're not at war against us, right? So, yeah, this would be a pretty cool idea to see.
Smooth.
Okay, so to answer these questions, I'm gonna answer each question by each question. Would I want to see it again? Absolutely. I'm pro Black Panthers. They're good far outweigh their bad in their existence, so I'm pro Black Panther. That's one. Two, would I think it make our street safer? Absolutely, because if you knew there was somebody policing the neighborhood, not just from police, but also if you robbed from your own neighborhood and they seen you, they was gonna get that stuff back. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to fight with the Black Panthers over why you're breaking down your own community. Like that was something they were not fond of. They were not fond of people stealing from their own community and breaking down businesses and all that other stuff. Would it be beneficial to teach our children that cops are deserving of an armed response? Nah, bro. Like, I don't want that to be like an everyday thing. Like, yo, I see a cop, my kid just like, yo, where you like? No, I don't want there to be like
No, we got.
That's a bit wild. That would be too much hostility.
Oh,
I don't want that to be a thing. Like, but I think teaching the kids that it's okay to use your Second Amendment rights to protect your community is fine.
Top. Awesome. Please save
Yeah.
me. I need
am I muted?
Go ahead.
I don't even know where you're at, Prime. My initial reaction to this is like, no. Like, it seems really like I feel like just bringing more guns to the party is going to end up with more Black people dead. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about Rittenhouse, but like if Rittenhouse can get away with shooting some Black people with guns, of course cops can get away with it, right? Like just
he only killed white
shot,
people.
Right?
That was white on white crime.
True.
That was,
only did.
Right?
You didn't watch
I'm spreading.
the news.
I know he only killed white people. I'm just,
Okay,
I'm feeding into the narrative. Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Narrative.
But like, I don't know. I just think I feel like bringing more guns to the party is like not necessarily the best solution. Maybe if there was like a highly problematic neighborhood somewhere, and we're like cop killings were happening like every day, but like on a mass scale, like I don't know. I mean, but like if I guess if people want to do it, they have the Second Amendment right to do it. As long as they're not like, I think as long as they're not like infringing on police, like there's like a word for it, but as long as they're not like stopping police from doing their job, like they're allowed to do it. So I mean, if they want to, sure, but I don't know if I necessarily think that bringing more guns to the party fixes anything.
Hey, Prime.
Because everybody knows Kyle Rittenhouse shot
this-
3 black men,
the-
right?
Top Dolphin is your
Bruh.
last line of defense. Someone
That's
who's
your
using a
last
false
line.
narrative as the foundation of his
Yo,
point.
good luck with that, Prime.
Okay, I
Like,
need
yo,
you, Prime,
yo,
to open up the picture of the people who got shot by Kyle Rittenhouse and tell me if they black.
Your safety net
They-
is a
they
wet
were all-
Wait, I know.
They
they're
were all
black,
proud
though.
black
It's a
trans
wet-
women. All of
It's
them.
a
But
wet
in all
paper
serious-
bag.
in all seriousness,
well,
right?
Oh, let me.
Kyle Rittenhouse is a BLM supporter.
No,
So-
I'm happy that all of you know their victims were white.
Oh my God.
I honestly thought that all of you were going to be like, oh yeah, he shot all these black people. Sure.
Yo,
Yeah,
you,
sure,
so you
that's
really
why
thought
you said that.
that's why you said
Let's
that.
not say
Just
that.
saying
Oh
that
my
because
God,
I
let's not
read
say
the
that.
George Floyd
Let's
Justice and
not.
Policing
Let's not say like we're
That-
happy.
that's why. That's why you
that
said it, bro.
anybody is dead. Let's not say that. But okay. So, my problem is that like the consequences for this are severe, right? Like it's like, oh yeah, I like the Black Panther Party, right? I like the things they did, and so I want to, I wouldn't mind if they were armed again, and were enforcing some neighborhood. But okay, if one can do it, then the other could do it, right? Imagine, like who else has guns, right? White nationalist groups, right? Imagine them patrolling neighborhoods, right? Keeping the eye on the cops. They fucking hate cops, right? They'll pretend they'll do Blue Lives Matter when they want to like just shit on black people, take that opportunity to shit on black people, but they actually hate cops, right?
I
So
don't
like
know.
imagine them doing that. Imagine these racial groups like patrolling these areas. Imagine you living under those patrols. Imagine you not being the race of those militias effectively, right? Like there's so many ways that this could go wrong. Imagine a Black Panther group like in Chicago, right? Saying that, well, we don't like the police, and so the police will stay out of this neighborhood. Like, what happens
That
then?
wasn't the question. That wasn't the question because now you're moving the goalpost, right? Because you originally you just said if they were just like checking on the police and keeping the police in check. There's a total different thing besides that and impeding the police, which was the word that Top Dolphin was looking for earlier.
Yeah,
The
that's
second you start getting in way of them and telling them, no, you can't do your job. We're
Breaking the
not telling
law.
Wait a
you're
minute.
doing
Wait a
everything.
minute. Maybe we have a different idea of what like watching the policing the police would be, right? The policing the police would mean there would be consequences when the police don't do would do something wrong. That they would impose consequences. Like if we're just talking
God
about
forbid.
Wait,
why-
God
wait, wait.
forbid.
if we're just
Oh,
talking about
no.
Cop watchers, hold on. Cop watching. I definitely encourage cop watching, right? Like film the police wherever they're doing action, right? You never know when they're going to get up to some crazy shit. If they're going to just cop watch, okay, fine. But if
Wait,
they're
do you think
armed,
they-
right?
What's the
And
right,
we're
yeah.
talking about, and again, the question said police the police. Then what do you think that involves? In? At some point,
Do-
there's
do
going to be
you-
a confrontation.
Nah, I don't think they about to do some like
they're
Batman
just
level
armed, they're just
shit,
open
bro.
carry
Like,
watching, right?
like it's not like
Community
that, bro.
caretakers.
No, I'm just saying, like
You
they
think just
got.
because an individual is armed and they decide to take
Yeah.
care of a community, this
Oh,
will lead to deaths?
No,
I mean, if
but
they're-
like,
what kind of
hold
idea
on,
would have
hold on.
what would have
Like-
given
like,
you that idea?
The,
Well,
the
time out.
real, the
Memes-
real alternative
no,
is that
no,
like
but
fucking
time
white
out.
nationalist
Memes
groups
aside-
already do
Wiggle.
this. So
Wiggle,
Like,
wiggle.
no,
on
memes-
specifically,
no,
I don't know what
police,
the
but,
fuck.
like,
memes
yeah,
aside
like-
for a second, like when we talk about this, I'm just like, it won't need to escalate, right? Because the police are in fact the police. So like, if we get these like community servicemen, it's not like they have the power to do anything except for like maybe, hey, give me your badge number and I'll report you.
You're
Like,
bullshitting. Are you bullshitting me? Are you playing with me, Byron? I'm not sure if you're memeing now, so I really want to know what you're memeing. Like, what are we doing here? Like, Black Panthers, they got into firefights with police. That's the thing that happened. I'm saying,
Yeah.
bringing that back.
Wait,
That would be
no, no,
impeding.
no, no, hold
Shooting
on,
at the
no.
And
police
what-
is impeding the
That's a
police. Can we
mischaracterization.
understand
It
that?
wasn't like they were just getting into fire park.
Thank you.
Fire
Like,
fights
there
with
were
police because it was like they were
escalations,
believing
dude.
police. It was that the policemen were literally targeting like some of their hideouts and things like that, and that's what actually caused some of those firefights, right? It wasn't like they were like just getting in firefights because they were police.
They're being targeted.
Yeah, there
No,
was an
that
escalation
too.
in
No,
there.
that too.
And hold on.
I agree
I
that happened.
I also want to bring up, like, they also got into shootouts with the U.S. organization, right, which is another black nationalist group. You know, there was another faction, another militia who also was armed, who they were competing against. Okay, and they also got in shootouts with them, which also sparked tensions because there were splits within the Black Panther organization. You know, if we're bringing them up as our prime example, they did have a lot of like cracks, right?
I'm sorry, but
almost like we
I'm
have an
not
armed
going to ever
gang.
allow you to just use like some of the negative
Gang, whoa,
ramifications
that's
from
really
a specific
charged.
instance and
That's
then try
really
to say
charged, man.
because
Gang?
of that individual
why-
bad
why-
action
I mean-
that we somehow should be able to completely
dog
discount the entire
whistles.
thing. If that was the same type of argument we were going to be doing, I don't see why we wouldn't be talking about completely getting rid of police altogether, considering the fact that we can point to so many atrocities. Just pointing to the negative outcomes of something isn't enough to just automatically say that it's a terrible idea.
Well,
sounds crazy.
that's where we start
And-
is when we deciding if it's a terrible idea.
Sure, I
Look
guess
at
why
negative
is it-
outcomes.
the United States
Why
is
is
a bad
it when
idea.
it's
Look at our Native Americans,
why is
right?
it when it's
Think-
white supremacists? It's a white supremacist extremist organization. It's a black person with a gun. It's a gang.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Right.
No.
Oh, don't
I don't know. They have like gangs.
Yeah.
don't laugh your way. It's a serious question.
No,
here.
they're all gangs. No, they're fucking all white nationalists. No, like Kel's
All lives matter.
like from
I'm not saying all
No,
gangs.
wait,
I mean,
like-
if you're gonna say they're all gangs, I actually don't see what's wrong with this. If they
No,
all
listen,
follow the definition.
you know, militias, gangs, all this like synonymous with me, right? Like whatever, right? So like whatever, like it's not like I don't. Well, Fanatiq walked away, so I don't think he can hear. I'm not sure.
Oh, he'll be back.
But like I'll wait for that. But like guys, the confrontations are real, right? Like what is the point of being armed? What is the point? To not use it? To not use it? To never
hopefully.
use it?
I mean,
Hopefully.
Yeah,
be
but
a
they're going to
deterrent.
use it. They're going to be a
Says who?
situation where this individual decides, I don't like the way the law is being carried out. And they might be right. They might be right that the cops are being abusive, right? Might be right. But then the next step is to actually take action with it, right? If they're just watching, then there's nothing to be intimidated about.
Yeah,
And the
but
cops don't have to worry.
what's the point of being an elected official if you're not going to pass anything? There's people that go to positions just to act as a deterrent. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta acknowledge that.
So to kind of like I don't want to say steel man, but to kind of like agree with the Prime's point, the thing that really makes me uncomfortable is like we have this group of like unsupervised or people with no like we have like the idea of vigilante. We have these vigilantes going out and like enforcing justice doesn't sit right with me. Yeah, especially like I hate when white nationalist groups do it, and trust me, they do. Yeah, like the idea that we're gonna walk around and like cause more problems, like if you want to cop watch, like sure.
Why are they causing problems?
If you want to like I said, if they want to walk around like an open carry and like follow cops around, and like as long as they're not impeding investigations, like sure. But
then
yeah,
that's
it
the
doesn't
point.
seem like a great idea. Like I don't know. Like maybe and maybe this is just me like not realizing how bad the problem is. But like I feel like if the problem were worse, right? Like back when the Black Panthers were active, the problem with like police and black people was way worse than it is to now. And not that it isn't bad now. Like I don't want to discount the issues we have today. But I think that like we're at a point where I don't know if just like starting firefights with the police or just like having an armed
Why would
like
they
response
need to
of
do
like
that,
vigilantes
though?
to take like the law into their own hands.
But like, wait,
Are you
but
saying
like-
you're okay with it then?
Said that we
Are you
have to be fighting an armed police.
Yeah, like they don't have to be
already
doing that.
framed it. Follow the argument that what we've actually been giving. It seems like your only way of contending with this is if you erect a straw man, right?
Like
no
we're
one
not
said you
saying.
need to be in a firefight with the police.
Yeah, like
Why are you
saying-
positioning them?
No,
This isn't Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
These
like
people aren't
all we're
going out,
saying.
going into
wait,
sports
hold
and
on,
finding criminals.
No,
If
top
a
dolphin.
cop goes
All
out
we're
there,
saying.
right? If a cop goes out there who's being watched by this like group of Black Panther like cop watchers, armed cop watchers, and they go and they like what the Black Panthers to receive is like an unjustifiably like kill a black man.
Why do you assume first and
Do you
foremost?
think
Why
they're
do you
not gonna-
assume first and foremost? Why do you assume they're going to be black if the majority of people that were at Black Lives Matter protests were white? Why wouldn't there be
Yeah.
white and black people in these
Wait, hold on. We're
these
literally talking
organizations
about
watching?
the Black Panthers policing black
So,
communities.
there was
You
that-
want to
Okay,
bring
wait,
up?
wait, wait,
Prompt?
time out,
right?
wait.
You want to
Hold
bring
on,
up
Not the
wait.
original prompt?
Give me a
Okay.
second.
No,
You want to
no.
you want to bring up the historical
Oh.
context by looking at the past and talking about the change of now. So then I ask you to look at the change in our society now, and you would see that there's a lot more white individuals that'd be willing to also watch the police.
Wait, hold on. I didn't say there was black people watching the police. I said
No, you
black-
wanted to bring up the
I said-
change in the level of violence back during the
Wait.
times of civil rights protests towards now. And so I say, okay, so then let's look at the change that happened from that, is that you have a lot more white people that
Wait,
would be on board with
I'm not
watching
disagreeing
police.
that there might be white people.
It seemed like you were
watching the
disagreeing a
police
little bit
too.
earlier. Can you make up your mind?
I said Black Panther cop watchers, right?
Yeah,
Right,
okay.
like,
And
that's
then
what we're
why'd you get
talking
upset
about.
when I said, why wouldn't there be like white people
And
as
I-
well? And then you said Black
Wait.
Panthers.
Because the group is called the Black Panthers. Wiggle.
Okay, so
Okay,
why
Black
would they be
Lives
Black
Matter.
Panthers?
But the group is called the Black
Okay,
Panthers.
the
Okay,
movement, the
Right?
movement is Black Lives Matter. White people don't support Black Lives Matter. Like, are we
Wait.
are we gonna play that game?
What? What? Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You're
right
saying
now.
you're saying the movement is
I know
called
you don't.
Black
I'm
Panthers,
waiting for you to catch
and
up.
for some reason, like white people wouldn't be supporting that nowadays. I understand
never
what Wiggle
said
is
that.
saying.
Okay,
That's what you're insinuating.
Let's
That's what you're playing
rewind
at.
and let me go. Let's just like ignore all this bullshit. All right, I said
We can go
Let's
before
say
you
that there's
started
a cop
talking
out
if you
there.
want.
said-
There feels
Right?
like
I
there was
said-
a
and there was
buildup
a-
of racial animus, black people watching a white cop in an area. So what would happen if it was
I
white
said
people
eight.
watching?
I said Black Panther
Okay,
cop watchers.
okay,
Cop watchers that are part of this. They don't have. They can be black. They can be white. They can be Asian. I don't care.
Okay.
Black Panther cop watchers, right? They go out. They witness was the unjustified killing of a black man, right? Because they're specifically like trying to police.
This seems
Cops
kind
in
of
black-
odd because you
wait,
said those are rare
specifically trying-
instances. You yourself
You're
on the
black-
same panel said
In
those are rare
general, they
instances.
are right.
But why would you bring up an instance in which somebody was killed as the
Wait,
basis
because-
of the standard
wait,
all
hold on.
across the nation?
because as I can't remember who the guy who said it. I think it was Chris Rock. It's like certain situations
Chris
can't
Rock's
have
not
bad
on the
apples
panel.
or whatever, right? Like you can't have bad apples. That's the whole reason why. Even though like only I think it's like a couple hundred black people a year get killed by police officers, we still see this as a crazy problem, right? Because even though it's a couple hundred, it should be zero. It should be one, maybe like by accident. You know, I don't
Okay,
know.
so then
Should
in the
be
maj-
none, right?
Would you
It's-
say that
I'm
the
not
majority of the
denying that this is
cases
a problem.
where there would be cop watchers would result in a death?
No, not the
Why would you
majority
bring
of
this
cases.
up?
Wait, but when we argue for something, we don't argue that like, oh, the worst case scenario is going to be happening all the time. But if the worst case scenario is bad enough, right, then we would necessarily say that we probably don't want that thing happening.
Well, for my instances, if I'm arguing with an individual and their immediate go-to is the worst possible scenario, they've already ceded most of the argument.
I mean, sure, okay. Let's have like if I were to say let's have less regulations on airplanes because only one airplane crashes every month, and it's only one a month, right? Like that, like it's so stupid. To
Why are you
look at
calling
things
for a
that way,
rollback?
No,
This
no,
is
that-
terrible.
That's not even equivalent because what would be the equivalent is okay. In addition to the FAA, we want to add another organization on top of that, another layer of protection to then protect against this minority group or whatever from getting taken advantage of. Or like we would add on to. Black Panthers is adding on to. We're not taking away from.
No,
That's
that
exactly.
doesn't make
You're
any
calling for a
sense.
rollback.
That doesn't
No,
make
it
any
makes-
sense.
like this whole like adding on to it, I feel like has the potential for just more confusion and more potentiality, right? When you're adding like additional variables to situations that are already volatile, already charged, already liable to be taken control of and narrated by the
Here's
media.
the-
Okay,
Here's
like,
the beauty of it, though.
it's something that.
No, let's
What?
say
It's currently-
finish your point.
No, I mean, what were you gonna say, Bmore?
Everything we're complaining about right now is currently legal. Like, so it's like, oh,
Okay,
this
yes,
is
okay. There's
Hold on, wait.
there's
It's
legality. Sure, there's a legality to this situation.
No, but
it
what I
doesn't
mean by that
it's
is-
like, what do you mean by?
what I mean by that. There are people who are cop watching and are armed, and it's not an issue. I guess the assumption is that they're going to be open carrying. Even then, that's occurring also. It's just like this is not leading to mass deaths now. Like the shit's not hitting the fan now. Like, but then it's going to.
But if there was a consorted
If there was
effort to do so,
but if
right?
there was, let's
Oh,
say
by
that there's
black
ignoring-
people, right?
Yeah,
ignoring,
by black
yes,
people.
yes,
I
the issue
didn't
is that
say by
issue
black
is that
people.
it's
That
black.
was- that was,
no, but
legal
that's
strong
hold
man,
on.
okay?
this is the all black everything panel, right? Like we're talking about a more modern Black Panther Party that is not the new Black Panther Party.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
Why
like
would
a,
it
like
be?
a more
Yeah, and
of
why would it be a
sort-
party?
Sort of,
Well,
huh?
Why would it be a
So,
party?
like,
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 More of like a
coalition,
group. It doesn't
like
have to be.
an
They just call
NFAT.
themselves. Wait. They just call themselves the party. It could be anything.
no,
It could be a fucking group,
I'm
it could be a
saying
gang,
if
it
we
could be
had a
whatever.
group of individuals from your communities that were stepping up to like help watch the police, first and foremost, why would that be similar to the Black Panther Party during the Civil Rights movement? Like, why would that? Why wouldn't it be largely white individuals? If we look at instances today where there's problems that happen in the two black individuals at the hands of the police, it seems like there's a larger percentage of white people that are involved in these protests, etc. So why wouldn't you just have white individuals? And then you would have to look at the instances in which you would have police that are being watched by other white individuals. And what do you think would happen in those instances? So why evoke the emotions and the same type of outcomes of like the 1960s or what have you when we're talking about 2021?
I would say that in 2021, it's okay if we're talking about something along the lines of like white people doing this. So we're talking about
No.
like we're
White
talking about
and black
police.
people,
Oh,
everybody.
White and black.
white
people.
and
We're-
black,
we're
sure.
talking
White and
we're
black.
talking
But
about
if
an
if you include
integrated
Pyro,
movement.
if you include okay, if you would get this Antifa sort of effect, right, where if you include white people in this sort of thing, okay, it will become mostly white people. Okay, just by definition, because it's a numbers game,
Sure.
right? If you
Yeah, you're
include
right.
white people in this sort of organization, it would just become mostly white people doing this, and you would
Yes.
have mostly white people sort of policing and like in a way protecting like African Americans.
And why would this be
No,
worse
not-
for
not
black
African
people? I
Americans,
rest
they've
my
been
case.
Protecting everyone.
Thank
They've been
you.
protecting
He said it
everyone.
himself.
Uh,
It's done. Thank you.
I mean, the goal is to protect black neighborhoods, right? That was
No,
the
the
whole
goal is
thing,
to
right?
protect everyone, right?
Hold
It's
on, wait. The prompt was literally, do we want cops to watch black neighborhoods, right?
yeah, while they were in
They
black
would
neighborhoods
protect
was
everyone
part
in
of
the black
question.
neighborhoods, but it was specifically
Okay.
black
But
neighborhoods.
if we're
right?
if we're gonna if okay, but if we're
Do
gonna
you
take a
live
step
in
back and talk about
completely
like overall
segregated
policing
neighborhoods?
and just like should average Americans just police because police are going crazy, then I guess yeah, I guess I don't find anything wrong with that, Wiggle. Sure, that's fine.
You
I
wanna
thought we
wait
were
till
talking about
then?
strictly in the context of black stuff, but okay,
And we
yeah, if
agree.
you're
We
pushing that
agree on
far
a lot
back,
of things,
then I
and
agree
today
with
is
you,
another
sure.
day that we agree.
All right,
And-
sure.
and-
man,
and here's
yeah.
another point, though, right? You don't want to wait for the shit to hit the fan to prep for when the shit hits the fan. Like,
yeah.
get a gun now, train now,
Mhm.
because when the time comes, I don't got the time. I don't got the time to train you. Okay,
I
too
mean,
worried
like,
I'm worried about my family and my homies, and that's gonna be the end of it. So in the meantime, like fucking prep now, because B more ain't gonna save your ass.
but like I love this. Like, Beamer's like you prep now, and I kind of agree with the sentiment. But like, I'm just like, why would you say no to this? Like, who else is gonna do it? The government's not gonna do it. We
Wait a minute,
already
we
know
just-
that like white
you
supremacists
guys just-
already got
You
theirs
guys
and
literally
shit. Like,
had like fucking a 2-hour screaming match with fucking Top Dolphin about like the federal legislation, right? That would
Okay.
come in and do this and would like change the police, right? So, but now you're like, okay, but we should also have a group, right? That's unaccountable, right? What
This
if
is
the
disingenuous.
Black Panthers?
This
What
is
if the
dirty.
Black Panthers get up to something, right? With the police, you at least have the barest
Are
figment,
Are
right?
you upset with us for trying? Because these were two different questions, and
Yeah.
I would say that if
Now
we
we're
had both
bridging
options on the
them.
table, then this would be a different discussion. But in
Yeah,
each one, it
like-
was limited to that topic. And so in the first one, yes, I would want that. And in this one, yes, I'd want this.
Yeah,
It's
if
different
you're,
as to
if
we'd
you're
want both.
bridging the
I mean-
questions, Prime, I'll answer it for you. I would obviously want the legislative option more than this.
I would rather
Because
have that.
yeah, I would rather have that than like this because this seems like I can understand where you're coming from, but like in the separate questions, like
This-
I'm all for this.
It's foot in the
I
door
agree
and
with
door in the
them.
face.
I don't
You always
agree
need
with
the
them.
threat of the second one
Thank you. There it
in
is.
order to get the first one.
Yes. Look, we're not going to get what we want by
Dual-
just being softer, by being less dangerous, by being less lethal.
I'm
no.
I'm
no.
imagining everything
Keep the
you're
option
saying
open.
right now. I'm imagining everything you're saying right now coming out a white nationalist smile, right? Like let's say
Guess
we're
what?
here. Let's say we're here.
Is it-
Like they say,
okay.
we're not going to
That's
get
very
anything we
Vosh of you.
want if we're not more violent, right?
I'm not saying- no, no,
prepared.
the
Sorry, you didn't say
capability,
more
the
violent. I mean, more
capability.
capable. Yeah, sure, that's fine. More capable, right? We have to be prepared. right? This is what they say. This is like what they do. Like we gotta be
You
prepared.
play into this
right?
Twitch rhetoric. So
Uh-huh.
playing that when the black people are saying about something, then it's like positioning it to white nationalism. Like it's a tired thing.
No,
All right,
it's so tiring.
I have to
guys,
actually,
like,
I have to actually.
no, no,
push
no,
what
no,
back.
oppression?
no,
Prime,
What
I gotta
oppression
push
is
back on
happening?
that.
I think for the
towards-
first time in
what
his life,
oppression-
Prime
I
has
think the
realized
white-
that like
Wait, there's
systems
another
like
point.
should be
What
accountable to
oppression-
both
I think a
sides.
lot of white.
First and foremost,
I think a lot of
Dr.
white. I think a
what
lot
is
of white
this-
nationalists are. Oh, guys, I think a lot of white
No.
nationalists actually talk about infiltrating the police and the military and getting training and like doing these
And
sorts
they
of
do it.
institutions. A lot of them
And
are not.
they
doing
do
A lot
it.
of them are not.
And they
doing
do
talking
it.
about
No, if
yeah, and
black,
they just
if
do
let me
that.
say
black,
this, it's rather
activists want to go
important.
and I mean
Unlike
black
whatever
activists
vacuous
as black
statement you're
activists for
about to
black
make.
issues, not specifically
First,
African
please,
first
American
and
Dr.
foremost,
Please.
Top
When
Dolphin,
they go
can you explain to me
infiltrate the police, I'd be all for it. You know?
Explain to me the oppression that's happening to white supremacists that's equivalent or even close to the oppression that happens to minorities within our country, and then tell me how this is somehow equivalent.
Oh, that silence says a lot.
Exactly.
Oh,
it's damning.
I assumed you were asking Prime, but
I said
you
your
You
name.
literally said your name.
Oh, me? I thought he was telling me to shut up. Sorry.
No.
Wait, hold on. I don't. Wait.
I would never
wait.
do that to another
One.
black individual, but maybe if you have that kind of preferential treatment, maybe I should tell you.
Well, hey, if you want to tell me to shut up, like, hey, I don't care. Like, do your thing. All right.
I asked you
just-
for your opinion.
I don't think that this piece of legislation. No, not sorry, my brain's fucking fried. I don't think
No.
that this specific action would necessarily lead to outcomes that help improve like us moving forward in other ways, right? So, like at the end of the day, right? If, like I said, if a Black Panther multiracial group, so that you guys don't get stuck on that, was to go out there and police the police, right? They're watching the police, and and they do catch a cop fucking up, right? They see this black guy walking down the street. The cops shoot him. and they're like,
I'll
oh my
restate
God.
what I was saying.
Like, the
This
cops
seems
fucked
to be
up,
like
right?
an aside. My
And
point was
fucking-
being is why the immediate push.
and then this militia group, this gang,
Are you
whatever
gonna
you wanna
address
call it,
what
whatever you guys
I
wanna
asked?
call
Yeah, at
it.
least address the question.
This group of
Can you listen
to
activists
the
question
decides
again?
to
Bro,
take
Listen to the
matters in
question
their own
again.
hand with their guns and shoot at
No.
the police.
Top
And the
Dolphin.
police start
Top
shooting back. I'm
Dolphin.
not calling it a firefight.
Top
but
Dolphin.
The police start
Top
shooting
Dolphin.
back.
You are not
all
answering
I
the question,
see
Top
is
Dolphin.
Fox News. All I
You
see
are running
is
in a
fucking Fox
dialogue
News,
tree. You're
and I
trapped
see
in a
fucking.
matrix, bro.
All I see is fucking Fox
Break
News
out.
and all the fucking conservative people going.
Take the
Look
red
at all
pill,
of
Neo.
these BLM protesters.
What are you talking
All
about?
these Black Panther
bad.
protesters out
I
here,
feel like we're being filibustered
endangering
right
our
now.
cops.
Yo,
Like, I don't feel like
Joe
it helps
Biden.
the
Joe Biden.
narrative.
Calm down.
All right,
Mitch
all right.
McConnell,
So,
still.
That
yes.
wasn't the question
First
at
and
all.
foremost, what I was saying and what I asked is like it always seems, and this is a very Twitch-like thing. I can understand it's a majority white space. So whenever you hear people from an oppressed group or people who are minorities speaking and talking about getting some sort of self-empowerment, then one of the most immediate responses is relating them specifically to Nazis, white supremacists, etc., who advocate for these things. So then when I asked you, I was like, how is the oppression that a white supremacist deals with in their mind or whatever they might experience through what you were describing as, like you said, systems, like how is that in any way equivalent to what minorities
Wait, hold on.
experience in the United States?
I never made the equivalent between white.
Oh really?
I was just
This is really
pointing out-
humorous. Maybe I have a better
Wait, this
memory
was-
than you
Wait,
do.
hold on. That was literally Prime's thing. What do you mean?
Yeah, while
I
Prime
didn't
was
say
speaking,
white
you
supremacists
said
won.
it's almost like systems, like as if I don't
No,
have a good enough
because,
memory.
okay, if you want to
now it did happen.
I was pointing out the irony that I've talked
What
to.
irony? That's what I'm trying to
I was
address.
pointing out the irony that in the past I've talked to. That I thought it was like relatively similar to me and Prime have talked about things in the past where I've said that like if this sort of thing was used by the other side, like it would be bad, right? And this is why we shouldn't want it. I think specifically with Prime, we talked about it with like tactics and like Congress and stuff like this, right? And I thought it was ironic that he was using that same argument, right, to like say, what if white nationalists did this? I wasn't making that argument.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So Smooth, go ahead. But just like all you need to do is this. You don't have, no, shake it. Just
No. I was doing this to keep my thought because I have to like move something, so I won't go
Okay.
on screen.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, that's just me. That's just me. So the way I feel about it is, okay, these white nationalist group, they already do these things. They already do. They've already done it. Like they literally January 6th of this year, right? Was it this year? Right? It was this year. Yeah, it was this year. This hadn't even been a year. They literally walked into the White House and said, "Y'all, nah, we running this. Like we want to run this." You know, they already done it. They've already organized and mobilized themselves and proved that they're capable. For us to not do so ourselves is doing ourselves a disservice.
We would be
to
stupid.
any
It'll be
capacity. We
to
would
them.
be
It's okay,
dumb.
guys.
Yeah,
We will be
just believe that they
stupid.
won't come after. If they will go all the way up to the federal government and go in the chambers of Congress, excuse me, do you not think they would come after us? Like
I'm not hiding
they-
I
behind
didn't know
Nancy
that all
Pelosi's
Republicans
magic,
were white
bro.
This is
nationalists now.
this is
Jesus.
literally
Who said that?
this is actually like the joke within like the gun community of like it's gonna be when the shit hits the fan when anti-gunners knock on your door and say, "Hey, Bmore, I need your help." Bro, the time is now. Be proficient. Learn. Because when you wait for the call to arms,
That's
it's
a
too
different
damn
thing.
late.
Hold on, that's a different thing though.
No,
That's
no,
not the
no,
same
not necessarily.
as forming a militia, right?
Okay,
Those
look,
are two different
this is the
things, right?
problem.
At the very least, we can agree on that.
You don't
That being prepared in terms of like
what is the militia?
getting trained with guns.
Yeah,
It's different from forming an organization, a
You're gonna hate this.
gang, right? To
gonna-
actually confront the police. Those are two different things, right?
Let's go back to the Federalist Papers. Let's go back to the Constitution. What is the militia? The people. Like at the end of the day,
it's
okay, now
people,
listen, let me finish.
or armed people, or people who are armed and
Yes.
working cohesively, right? Like isn't
Okay,
just the
yeah,
people.
listen. Yeah. If Pyro, Wiggle, and then Smooth come to my house, and I'm like, we chill, play some video games. It hits 12 o'clock. Hey, range is open. Let's go to the range. Let's run some drills. Why are we running drills? Just in case a nigga wants to find out. Hey, we the militia.
Just in
Right.
case they January 6th the shit, right?
And then well, guess what?
Right.
We lean left, and we know what we're doing. We're staying capable. We're a
Well
militia.
regulated.
What's the purpose of this
Mhm.
militia? The purpose of militia
That is not.
is
Sorry.
what do you think? Militias don't have to have such a stringent, such a harsh ideology. It could just literally be a collective of individuals
It could be a gang.
who agree upon.
I agree. It could be a gang.
Oh, it could be anything. It could be
It could
anything.
be
But
a
it could literally
gang,
just be a
right?
group of black people who don't want to be fucked around with.
It could be a gang. Literally, that's why the
And oh my
some
god,
of
it
the
could be a
gangs have
gang.
been
It could be a
formed,
collective.
right?
It
Literally,
could
that's
be
how some of
Like
like
the
our current gangs, right, have been
Uh-huh.
formed. I think was it the Bloods or was it the Crips? I think it was
The Crips.
Yeah,
The
Crips.
Crips.
Just
The Crips
because-
were- the Bloods were formed to fight the
So,
Crips, but
do you
yeah.
think that it's Smooth, Pyro, and Wiggle and I got together, ran some drills to protect ourselves because we understand that the right is armed, that we're gonna turn into a fucking gang?
No,
This is just
I
not
didn't
nice.
say no. What? That's not what I said.
Then don't-
right? No,
Okay.
no. I'm calling.
I'm
What I'm
listening.
calling a gang, right? A possible gang is the reforming of the Black Panther Party to be able to do these things, right? To be able to police the police, to go out there with weapons, right? And will they just be doing
Listen,
that,
Prime,
or they'll be
Prime.
doing other activities? Will they be
It's a different-
effectively the law in these different neighborhoods, right? Like that's what at least for a lot of
Easy.
these gangs, right? They're effectively
Yeah,
the
easy.
law in those particular neighborhoods because the cops. Yeah, what?
Easy answer. It would simply the Black Panthers would simply be different because they're operating in a different space. Back then, cops are beating niggas down in the street. Brutality.
They're doing-
Planting individuals inside of the organization to make them look bad. I mean, it seems like some people here are falling for it.
Why?
I'm saying is they would operate in a different reality, so they would operate
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah,
Is it? Wait a minute.
Yes.
Is it a different one? The cops were beating black people before, right? Aren't they beating
It
them
was
now? Isn't that the whole
far
point?
different.
If they weren't doing it, then why wouldn't the Black Panthers in the first place?
It was
Right?
far different back then.
Oh, it was far different. It was far different. No, we didn't. We haven't. Like we are seeing it right now. We're seeing that violence. We're seeing it play
Yeah?
out on our TV screens. We're seeing that.
Okay.
Right. So there.
So if you're gonna take
that's why we're having.
so okay, so
that's why
so,
it's
so, so now you're
entertaining to
taking this
start.
position. Now you're saying shit's the same, and then the solution is to disarm ourselves and not stand our ground.
I'm
No, thank
so
you.
okay. So here's what I
Mm.
think. Right. I am
That
a
corner
cop.
looked sharp.
All cops are bastards, right? Like,
But they-
you've heard-
but only they
Hold
get-
on, whoa, let me fucking finish. You'll fucking find out. Hold on. Thank you. All right. All cops are bastards, right? When I wrote this question, my thoughts were like, you know what? I do like the idea. I like the idea. I like the picture, right, in my mind of people following the cops and intimidating them. I I love that. I love that having that counter balancing force, right? But I'm not like I don't jump into these things blindly. I consider the consequences, the possibilities, right? And if this actually happens, I know there are going to be shootouts because that's literally the only way it could go. That's the only way it could go. And you guys are saying, well, like, oh, is it different because of black people? Actually, yeah, it is. Not saying the black people are more violent. I'm saying the white cops, right? Their reaction to black people armed will be different. Will be different than if it was white individuals armed. We know this already. We know this already. This isn't
all you
something
have to
new.
That's
do-
why I
right?
was
This
saying that
isn't-
there's gonna be more white individuals.
I didn't think I was done talking. I didn't fucking think I was done. Thank you. Anyway,
You're
so
welcome.
we know these things. We know this is a thing that's going to happen, right? So yes, it will be more explosive. It absolutely will be than it is fucking white nationalists policing the streets of fucking Kenosha or whatever the fuck, right? These things aren't the same. So we have to actually consider that. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm not even completely opposed to the idea. I'm actually not completely opposed. But I'm just considering that, yeah, we might have running fucking gun battles in the streets. And do I want more guns? The way we topped off and started this conversation. Do I want more guns in the variable? I really don't want. You know, I don't like guns.
Y'all sound like y'all
more
have a
people
gun
get shot?
phobia.
All right.
So
Yeah.
if they were a trained militia, right? If they were a trained militia, that would include them having discipline. Do you think a trained disciplined militia would just go out there and just be engaging in wild firefights? Like
I didn't say
somebody
wild.
in the chat put it there. Like, so there's the Black Panther Party literally prevented people from getting their ass beat just in the street for no reason. That's like that was something they just prevented. Like the cops seeing the Black Panthers right there on the corner, they were like, okay, we can't do that here. Let's go somewhere else because they clearly have an active presence here and they're going to combat me if I try and do something wrong. It's a deterrent mechanism. It's not meant to like directly engage everything. It's just a deterrent. That's it. You just have the option of getting your ass beat. The option.
capability. Yeah, it's on the table. I'm not gonna rule it out.
Option.
Look, cops are bastards, but here's the thing: I'm not gonna let the bastard be the only one with the gun.
They
Like,
have
so
their
you can go ahead.
Wait.
I'm not worried
I don't
about it.
necessarily
things.
disagree with you, B-More, but
Like,
like there's
this
a
is
big
it, like-
difference between like if
Bro,
you,
you
wanna,
love the
wait,
cops. Don't be
B-More,
coming
if you
at-
want to say, well,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
fucking dude,
Man,
I'll go
on the
suck
Union.
some cop dick right now. Okay, I love
I
the
told
cops.
you,
Don't
man.
bring them.
I told you, they'll bring the
If you
cops.
want,
Give that- give that
if you
gun
want-
up.
carpet.
if you want not just the cops to be armed, sure, all right, sure. Tell black people in black neighborhood who live in neighborhoods that are highly policed, white people, tell everybody to go out there, get a gun, like
I
get a
do.
range, get trained, and
I
walk around.
do
That
every day.
I know you do. Is completely different from the idea of having like and I'm gonna try to skip all the loaded words you guys are gonna attach to.
Yeah.
But like having a group, an organization of cop watchers, armed cop watchers, specifically going around and chasing cops around. You're not
Now,
just
what-
like
Black
bringing
Panthers-
guns to
wait,
situations, right?
wait.
You're bringing
Why would they
guns to
specifically be
situations
doing
in which
that?
cops
Why-
are already
no,
involved
no.
in, right?
Why would they be
Why-
chasing the cops? If
Yeah,
the cops
why
didn't
are
commit a
they
crime?
Chasing
No,
them. The
why-
cops are chasing them.
That's the whole
Why-
point. That's the whole point. They're
They're
supposed
just
to be
watching
watching
them.
the cops, right?
Yeah.
They're watching
So
the
what?
cops, bro. We already have
Yeah.
armed cop watchers. Like we were just saying, like, yeah, we believe that there should be these in like neighborhoods of people of color. What's wrong with that? Unless you're telling me that these cops are gonna go off the handle and like just they can't handle being around black people. Like, I believe police are humans. What's the problem?
See,
I don't
my
get it.
my problem with it,
So
my problem with it is that I
hypothetically-
generally just have I'm a little bit pessimistic when it comes to just like humans, like you said, right? These people are going to be humans. The cops are humans. A lot of them have like training that like is not really trustworthy, bad training, not the right kind of training on the cops' part,
Okay.
and like the training on a local level of these people is going to be very wild, very
So
wildly
like
depending on the
I'm
location, how
thinking
they're
about that.
organized, okay?
But the
So I'm
cops
thinking-
already have
wait, time out.
untrained
Wait,
confidential
hold on.
informants.
I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about this bad training they have. They already have that, and right now we're talking about this from a hypothetical, mythical position, like it's fairy tale land. They already have this bad training, and they like whale us with it, and we just sit here and we have these panels, and then they whale us with it some more. Why shouldn't we be able to have that deterrent at the very least to say, like, yo, if you even like try and whale on me, like we might do something back. Might
That's
not even
that's
not
diff-
even the guarantee.
So first off, go ahead, Wiggle.
Yeah, you were talking about the having less trained people out there with weapons. First and foremost, the cops already employ confidential informants, and these confidential informants are not going to be as trained as the police, and they're able to employ these individuals. So like if they're able to do that, why is it a problem now for like individuals to just exercise their
Wiggle.
rights?
Wiggle.
Yeah.
Do you think Wiggle? Do you think that's okay? Do you think that's cool for cops to have that?
No, that's the whole
Like the
point of this. The
confidential
whole point
informants?
of this is as long as
Right.
they do have that, why can't we have this?
Wait, what do you
No,
think
wait, so no,
CIs
it's
do?
not.
Do
It's
you
not.
think
Hold on,
CIs
Wiggle.
are like
I'm not.
running in there
Wiggle.
with
Wait,
guns
stop,
and like
stop.
and, like,
Please
taking
stop.
people
Please
down?
stop. What? Stop. Please stop. Please. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to say
Yeah.
shit. I'm just saying, Wiggle. You say
Yeah.
that like, okay, the issue, the problem. You say that like, okay, there's more people out here that have even less training that people trust that are armed and stuff like that. So like, your idea is that like it's.
I never said
better
that
to
people
have
trust. I
more
said the cops will take confidential informants that are less trained than
people
they
as
are.
in cops.
Yeah.
People as in cops. Trust enough to hire, right, and everything like these private sort of people.
Yeah.
And like, so what you're saying is we should add even more variables, more factors like that.
No, because
Yeah.
this wouldn't be necessarily adding more variables. These would just be people exercising their rights. If you see that as an added variable, then we're already at opposition.
I mean,
This is
I mean, hold on, but by definition, it is an added variable. This is just like
I
you
know
can't
that's what
even
I was
argue that.
saying.
It
And
is.
if you see it that
Right.
way, then like everything can be variable at a variable that's added if I exercise my rights. Me being on this panel is an added variable. Me
Yes.
going to going into the next room, me taking a shit is an added variable. But I see it as
Okay, but
somebody
that's
exercising their
not a
right.
but Wiggle, that's not a variable. You being here is not a hopefully is not a variable that'll increase my chances of getting shot. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at.
So
here.
that's the inherent
Okay?
problem is that you see that people watching over the police would inherently add to the level of danger that you would experience when they're initially doing
then-
this to help you out. They're there so that you
Yeah,
have a lower chance of being shot. They're a deterrent.
I understand it. I understand like intention, right? There's always intention. This is right. We're getting close to like the nuke argument, but like the
Not
intention
really,
of just like
but
having
like if
this-
you want to think that this is close to nukes, I think like community policing is very different than nuclear weapons. But if you want to
Exactly.
explain how it's close, like it's fine. I think it's laughable to bring up like hyperbole and then say we're getting really close to hyperbole. I think community policing happens all the time. But now it's like it's strange because like this could lead, and then the idea that this could lead to more danger for me, that's a fearmonger argument of like, well, if you want to exercise your rights, this is actually gonna hurt you. This is actually gonna hurt you more.
The
And
classic argument. It's terrible.
I'm not saying it's going. I'm not saying it's going to hurt
It
you more. I'm
adds-
saying
you're saying
no,
it adds a
you're-
variable.
No, but what you're
I'm
saying
saying
is
yes,
we can't.
which means I'm saying. Why are you telling me what I'm saying? I'm about to say what I'm about to say. I'm about to say what I'm saying. I'm saying that like it's gonna add potentiality to hurt me. Not that it will. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
So hold on. So for it to add potential to hurt you, do you agree to the point that it also has the ability to help you as well?
Yes, but I'm thinking of whether or not, like in my head, I'm really thinking of whether or not that's worth it. Like, which one outweighs the other? Okay, when you start inviting these sorts of things, all right, and making it more common. Okay, I know you guys keep saying that like this is already happening. It's obviously not happening on a wide enough scale that like the media is reporting on it, or people, or it's even notable. Like no one's really talking about it. No apologists seem to care. Okay, but like if we're going to increase this sort of thing, this sort of action to the point where we've got like identifiable groups that you can name, that everyone in here can just name and say this is happening consistently. All right, how is that going to affect the already incredibly polarized landscape we have going on?
So
Because if you're
already
for-
have.
You go, Smooth. Sorry.
Yeah, we already have neo-Nazis. We already have white nationalists. We already have all the fringe right groups that you could have, like the KKK still in existence. It's just not mainstream. So my thing is, why can't we have a group that supports Black people? Why
We're gonna be.
Nobody, hold on. Nobody is saying.
I'm talking about straw mans.
Stop it. Stop. I'm not against like groups that support Black people. What? Of course we can.
No, I'm talking
groups
about. They are willing to go the means of using violence. If we don't have a trained group that could also defend us in the event that is necessary, that's kind of wild.
So Smooth, are we talking about like a Black equivalent to the groups you were talking about, like the KKK, neo-Nazis?
Why
like
do you
No,
have to
no,
say
no.
that?
You just,
I'm not
bro, that's
saying-
what
I'm
Smooth.
not
That's what you
saying
said.
they're
Smooth.
equivalent.
That was the
No.
comparison.
Hey,
No,
Sig,
wait,
let me explain it.
That's
then.
what Smooth
Let
said.
me, I know.
That's
Let
what
me
Smooth
say.
said.
Let me get this real quick. We're talking about people who don't like these people. How are they equivalents? Me saying I don't like fascists is equivalent to being a fascist. Me saying I don't like
No.
neo-Nazis. What I'm
Not
saying
that.
is a group. No, that's the point, though. You're shaking your head. I'm feeling the same way you are. We're talking about individuals who are going to arm themselves because they understand these entities are out there already. That's it. You don't take it any further than that.
So hold on. So it's not what Smooth said in terms of pro-black. You're talking just about anti.
No. Being pro-black doesn't mean you're gonna go shoot people. Being pro-black doesn't mean you're
I
gonna be
never
a
said that.
fascist.
I never said.
No, I know,
never
but you're
said that
but
either.
Well,
why
like
is why
being
why are you making
pro-black
the
doesn't mean it's like
Because
some type of
Smooth- okay,
supremacist
because Smooth-
thing, though.
Yeah,
Like,
okay. But what Smooth said was, we've got like these neo-Nazis out here, this KKK groups out here with these. I'm just asking for a group that's pro-black. Okay.
Yes.
Do you not see that?
Like
I
a-
could
like a
extrapolate
deterrent
something from
group.
what you
No,
said.
no.
This is
It's
exactly
a
what I was
deterrent.
talking
Okay,
about earlier.
all right, okay, Smooth.
Is that
Smooth,
one
Smooth.
is
If you're talking
formed in
about-
the reaction
Smooth,
of another,
Smooth,
and you
if
see
you're
it as an
talking-
equivalent? Would we
Oh my
have
gosh,
the
no, I
groups
don't.
that
No, I don't.
Smooth was
Hey, hold on.
talking
Let me
you
finish.
do.
Let me finish. Let me finish my
Then
sentence.
if you
Smooth.
don't,
If you're
then
talking
explain
about
what
you
what's
described,
Smooth.
what you described as a deterrent group is therefore not an equivalent to those things. Okay, so can we not bring up like white nationalist groups and KKK groups? when
No,
we're talking
I'm-
about
You-
someone
I
that's
thought
trying to
you did
protect-
though.
No, I'm.
No, he
I'm-
did. He literally brought that
Because
up
he's
first.
discussing it in a reaction to. If there's an opposing force,
It's-
and then you're saying that if you are oppressed against this force, you cannot have an opposing force yourself. It's a reaction to. And then
Well, in that case, Wiggle.
possibly
Well, hold on,
if
Wiggle.
those
Well, in that
forces
case,
didn't exist.
Wiggle.
Yeah.
In that case, we already have extreme reaction to those groups already. Like neo-Nazis, KKK, we have massive reactions to those groups. We're talking about reactionary forces to them. Absolutely. We're talking about police and policing. All right.
Okay,
And reaction
so
against
then
that. We're not
what
talking
is the
about
reaction
against those
towards having
Nothing.
bad policing?
what's the reaction
like
to
BLM
like the
for one.
whites?
essentially.
Oh, and
Okay.
what did they
A
accomplish?
lot of
Can
people
you
would
explain?
argue. A lot of people would argue it's not. Well, they
Because I
accomplished
see
quite a bit so
BLM.
far.
I
say
see
they
B-
accomplished quite a bit
I
so
see
far.
BLM as I see a BLM as just opening people's eyes. But I want to see more legislation. I want to see more action. And if whenever you want legislation when it comes to black individuals or minorities, it seems like you also need the threat of exercising your rights in order to then get the legislation in action. And I feel like it's been discussed, it's been shown in this discussion. That's all it seems to be, that people on this panel who are in the side that, like, I think Be More, Smooth, Pyro, Fanatiq has been relatively quiet, I won't speak for him, have been advocating for.
You're just talking. This is just generally just more action. The things that BLM is saying, people need to go out and start doing. Essentially, right? Like just like go out, police the police. Have these sorts of groups. Maybe a multi-ethnic sort of thing, as you talked about. Potentially somebody that can like be the sort of group that can be out there pro-black and just helping black.
You don't have to go on patrol though, right? You could seriously, when you see it occurring, make your presence known. I'm not talking about a patrol that's driving around following cop cars everywhere. I'm just talking about.
I like how earlier, like, people were talking about my inability to read, and like, Jesus, like, holy shit. It's like, we're not talking about a patrol. Read the fucking prompt, dog.
No, the Black Panthers would literally just like come out the doors, or like.
No, they
Like, they were
actually
sitting in a-
patrolled.
No, they
bullshit.
literally followed around cops and like
Not-
would intervene
not
when
a-
the cops were fucking up.
Not every,
That's
no,
literally
not
what they were
not
doing.
not the majority of cases.
I feel like
No.
we've moved. Hell, I feel like we've moved away from the Black Panther comparison discussion. And everything. We're talking about something else entirely. We were.
I mean,
formulating
if
something
you
that-
just want to talk
What-
about like individual citizens
Yeah.
like being armed, sure.
That's a
but-
different
I
thing.
mean, yeah,
If
it
you
seems
wanna
like-
fall
no, no, no,
back-
no, 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 no,
if
no,
you
no,
want
no,
to
like the
fall back,
prompt.
if you want to retreat from your
As-
previous
as-
position,
as
that's
a
Yeah,
fine.
collective.
like
But
we've
like,
retreated so far from like a modern day Black Panther group, like organized like cop watchers chasing armed like policing the police, to like, yeah, everyone should buy a gun. Like
That's a-
citizenship, we're so far away from like the original.
In-
prompt that you
in
guys
mo-
are
in mo-
defending.
in-
You guys
in
just
modern
keep
day-
retreating. It's crazy.
All right, for sure. Here. Let's not retreat. Let's not retreat at all. Let's not retreat at all. There's an organization. It's called the NFAC. And they went around, and during like moments of high protest and stuff like that, they were heavily armed. They were walking in their communities. They at certain parts were like wanting to make sure that different places weren't being vandalized. They were trying to respond to certain white nationalist organizations. And I think at some times they were present when police were doing certain actions. So I would say maybe we don't need to actually name the name the Black Panther Party. I thought that they were saying they were only naming the Black Panther Party as like sort of an example like the Black Panther. I didn't know that they were talking about recreating the Black Panther right now. Does it say that specifically in the prompt? I'll read
It
it
doesn't
after to make
specifically
sure.
have to,
If it
but-
does, okay, so then if it doesn't, then we aren't necessarily retreating by talking
Thank
about newfound organizations. You're only
That's the point.
creating
Wait,
a straw.
Fanatiq.
You're creating a straw man by insisting on talking about the Black Panther Party when the Black Panther Party was only supposed to be an example.
Hey, hold on, Fanatiq. I'm not accusing you of retreating because you've been quiet. But Be More here has gone from like an organization of people, right, to like a bunch of people in a community buying guns and looking out their windows.
In a community,
right?
yes.
It's
and be-
so
and-
he's so
and then- no,
like
no, no,
the original
no,
prompt used the
no.
Black Panther Party as an example to give an example of behavior, and he has fundamentally retreated to a different behavior. You haven't done that, Fanatiq. I'm not saying you're retreating, but Be More and fucking I guess Weagle and Smooth maybe too. I
Wait,
don't know,
how
have
first and
totally
foremost,
retreated.
First
so
and
far.
foremost, talking about
can I-
retreat. Prime, when he was discussing this, didn't remember the context of the question, and then when he remembered it, he said that he was on the side of us. And then you said,
Wait, what do you mean the
How did I not
context?
remember the context?
you
of my
said
own
you
question?
liked the because you said that you don't remember this was a question from before,
Oh,
and then
I
you
said
don't
just
remember
what
actually.
inspired me. Oh,
and
yeah,
then
what inspired
yeah,
me.
and then afterwards, when you clarified, you said that you seemed on board with the idea. So then, and then you changed your mind if you're on Top Dolphin side at this point.
No, man, no, wait, no. Okay, let me try that again, okay? I'm just saying, I don't know, I don't remember exactly why I wrote the question, right? Not how I felt about the question. I just, like, why I wrote it, like, what was the
Okay.
reason? Yeah, that inspired me. Fair
Okay.
enough, okay.
So then,
I think you're specifically
outside
referring
of-
to when he
outside of
said that
Prime.
when he wrote the question, he felt
We
as
He
if
spoke
like,
for
the
himself.
concept is cool,
He-
but the
he-
ramifications
Top
of the
Dolphin, we literally
concept would
just
be
solved
negative.
it. We
He
literally
already
just solved
spoke-
it, bro.
he spoke
Like,
for
there's no need to
himself. So
fake
now
it.
I'm gonna rail on you.
Because
Now I'm gonna rail on you for saying that like we're somehow retreating from like our original
100%
position.
done.
Yeah. So like, what is your position? So we can describe what that is in depth.
All right.
Because it seems like the people that are
I
advocating
think
here-
organizations of armed cop watchers following police around is not a good idea.
So now it's not about
And
the
why
Black
do you believe
Panthers.
that's not a good idea? Can you explain this?
Why do I believe? Because I think bringing more guns to already like potentially tense situations is bad.
Okay, so
And it could end
this-
up. And wait, hold on. And the ramifications would probably end up in more people dead, or bad press and helping getting legislative initiatives passed.
Okay. Now I'd say maybe you should think of retreating from your position because that is absolute dog shit. And first and foremost, if you have people watching police, why does that mean that it's going to be more tense? Do you think police's only job is to just go? If you believe police's only job is to go into instances that are extremely tense and then having another individual watch them is bad, and then you're holding that position, then why would you be against like community caretakers to begin with? If that's the role of police today, it seems like it's not doing enough. It seems like the original position that I believe may Be More and Smooth would hold, that we would want to have a dual power initiative. We want to have people on the side that were doing something for the communities versus a group of individuals who are only called to a scene to only do not preventative violence or preventative care at all, only to react. That seems like it's not doing enough for communities.
I don't
Okay,
want
so
communities
so
relying
I'm unlike
entirely on
you.
the
I'm
state
not
for
like
things.
I'm not like abolish the police, hate all cops, like whatever. Okay, so
No
I
one
think
said that on
it's
this
very
entire
bad.
panel,
right?
though.
How much are you? How
Yeah.
much do they pay you?
That's a straw
much
man.
did
No one
they
said
pay
that
me?
on this entire
Hold
panel.
on.
Like, I don't know
Okay,
what panel you're
do we
listening
really want to go there? Wiggle, do you think that the police should exist? I'll just because he said this before. Maybe his opinion has changed. But I know in the past we specifically had a debate in which he said like we should abolish the police and then we should get rid of all of them. So
What?
maybe he was just memeing that.
When
I
would
don't
I
know.
say-
When would he ever say that?
Is this wiggle drama now?
Holy shit! Wiggles
This
never
is
said
wiggle,
that
this is
shit.
wiggle
Oh
drama
my
power
God.
hour.
Top, you're kind of diverting from the
Yeah,
whole.
like it was just a
It
passing
seems almost
comment.
like a
all right, like, we
retreat.
don't have to talk
You're
about
passing
that.
off another
I-
argument onto him to kind of get the thing off yourself instead of
Like
actually
a retreat.
responding to his
Oh
actual
my god!
question.
All right,
Thus
Wiggles
I-
never
far
said
for-
well,
that.
I was
if you
going to
want to
respond, but I
actually
was
respond to what
interrupted
he
because
said,
people like
then
okay.
You
like,
talking about interruptions? That's laughable. But
all right,
continue.
cool. All right, yeah, okay, all right.
Be
So
the new
what I was
Vivian.
saying was, cops are most of the time when the cops are called or with the duties that the cops do, except for like I guess traffic stops, is usually the cops are called for situations in which we need like a third party to intervene because like people can't like resolve things themselves, right? The exception being like, I guess, like reactive situations, not like proactive. Like when police are like proactively policing, that might be they're like looking for something, they're like enforcing laws. But a lot of times, like when police have interactions with individuals, it's because like situations are very, very, very tense, right? And I don't think that I don't think it's like ridiculous to say that like when someone's interacting with the cops, that's somewhat of a tense situation. You have someone who is an enforcer of the law and someone who potentially broke the law necessarily, like interacting. And they probably have goals that conflict with each other, right? And I don't think that bringing more guns to these situations is a good idea.
I have a question then. So, do you think that if cops are in the middle of an arrest or what have you, and I am armed, I'm legally armed, I have the ability to be, should that bar me from recording them?
I didn't say you couldn't
That's
record them. I just said you probably should.
But you don't agree
But
with
wouldn't that be
bringing
bringing a gun
guns.
to a tense scenario?
Like if I'm
Wait,
just
wait,
exercising,
I see that as exercising my right.
if I'm exercising my rights and I want to record a police officer in my neighborhood, you're telling me I shouldn't be able to do that because you're scared of it? Fuck that shit. No,
Wait,
Fuck
hold
that
on.
shit.
I said this is. Wait, hold on. Here's the retreat again, right? Because we're talking.
it's not a
What the fuck is
retreat.
retreat?
It-
You're making
No,
a
wait,
different
no,
point.
wait. Time out. It's not
organizations
a.
of groups.
Let him
like,
explain the
following
retreat.
cops
Let him
like-
explain it.
Yo, bro,
Sir,
wait,
I
time out.
happen to
Top
record,
Dolphin.
and I happen to have my gun.
Top Dolphin. What do you think policing the police entails? Do you think it's just like hounding the police like fucking SWAT? No, if I'm policing the police, even in my organization, one, it is my right and my organization's right to like have guns. I believe that. Everyone on like me, Be More, Wiggles, Sig Natural side, yes, we should be able to have guns. Second, if I want to record the police, why
be it.
can't I? That's policing the police, bro. I should be able to have my, open or concealed carry
so
depending
your
on the
argument
laws.
is it's legal, so you should so like everyone should do it.
No, because I didn't ask
I
you
didn't say
about
we should
legality.
make it illegal. I just said I don't think people should do it, right?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not-
didn't
we're not
ask
saying,
you
like,
about
strict,
legality, my friend.
like,
I asked
fucking
you,
amendment
you
rights
think
from
you
people.
should be able to. I asked your opinion. I didn't ask about legality.
If
Are you a judge?
If we should be able to, or if we should do it? Those
I
are two
asked
different
you
questions.
what you thought about it. I could repeat it for you.
My thought was
Unless
that we
you're a
shouldn't be
lawyer
doing
or a
it,
judge, I didn't
right?
ask you about the law. I asked you, hey,
Well,
if you are armed,
and my response
the
was,
ability
I don't
to.
think we should bring guns to these situations. I didn't see people can't.
Yeah, so if I had
in
a
fact,
gun,
I believe in my
should I not
in
be
my
able to
opening
record?
statement, I said that like I guess like with the like amendments and stuff, like people have the right to do these things. I just said I don't think people should do these things, right?
So
Like,
I shouldn't be
there's
allowed to
There's a lot of shit
record.
that's legal out there that like people necessarily shouldn't
Remember,
do, right?
Once you start stacking constitutional rights on top of each other, you start losing some of them.
Yeah,
This is
so,
so
like,
dumb.
So like you're saying like if I have a gun, I shouldn't be allowed to record, but as soon as I like leave the gun at home, I should be allowed to.
Well, look at you with this straw man. I didn't say shouldn't be
Straw
allowed.
man, you're
I
saying
said
that you
probably
suggest.
shouldn't follow the cops around and like
Yeah, but what if I'm on my way? What if I'm
Well,
on my way to Carvel?
what if I'm on my What if I'm on my
I'm
way
to
home from
McDonald's
school?
and I see somebody and
What if
I
I'm-
happen to be
What
carrying
if I am
because it's my
on my
right?
way home from school
and I
and I
wanna
see a
record the
cop and I pull out a gun and I just happen
Bro, wait. Do you not like?
phone and just happen to have a gun?
Why
with
are
me?
you-
Who said wait? Who
It's
said I'm
so
pulling
funny
out?
to
Wait,
watch you
time
guys
out.
retreat
Top
over and
Dolphin.
over
Top
and
Dolphin.
over again.
It's laughable because you don't understand what a retreat is. No one's pulling out a
Yeah,
gun,
you sound
bro.
like a cop.
Like, who's pulling out a gun?
I correct. I say they pull out a phone and I just happen to have my gun with me. Like,
Bro,
This
you
is
sound like a
exactly what
cop.
this is what the cop union would say.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he happened to have a gun. You
This
know,
is the
he
cop
happened
take.
to have his phone out. He
It
was
happens.
following them. Like you sound like the cop union. Like
Yeah.
yes,
What?
it happens.
Wow.
Yes,
all right, you
If
guys,
you have the
are
ability
actually
to legally
experiencing
carry.
a different reality.
Wiggle has
This
been
conversation.
Wiggle. Oh my God.
It's actually
Like,
reality.
I don't- I have a lot-
I don't want to
Wiggle,
say.
did you take
bad
like a little bit too
but, like,
much weed
Wiggle
today?
has
You
been putting.
you a little high,
Hold
bro?
on. Wiggle has
I haven't
been putting
smoked in over a
words.
year
No.
because I
Wiggle,
don't.
Wiggle has been
I need
putting
to combat
words.
stupidity like this.
Wiggle has been putting words in people's mouths, like this entire topic, right? This entire topic, you've been trying to put words in
No.
people's mouths, right? This entire time. So, like,
Did I not let you clarify and then leave you?
it's not
Isn't
gonna
that
work
good
on
faith?
me. I guarantee you,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
then I
gonna
let
work
you
on
clarify
me, right?
and then when you
yeah.
clarified, didn't I leave it?
Great.
So isn't
huh.
that good faith?
No. Before, when you like, oh, well, what do you mean? Like, oh, when it's black people, why is it gangs? Like that bullshit.
And then
right?
didn't
Yeah,
you clarify?
Okay, yeah, great. Any which way. Like, it's just unbelievable. So, like, if you guys want to continue to fall back, and you have been falling back again and again,
I
it's
don't
like,
know what your definition
hold
of a
on,
retreat is.
hold on. I was talking, right? Was? No, I was
Making a bad point.
No, I was. Hold on. Do you have a problem with me talking? You shouldn't. Don't fucking talk over me. Don't fucking do it. I'm telling you right now, wrong one. Don't do it. Try it again. Any which way. So, when you're saying like, oh, we don't want to fucking record the cops, right? Like, oh, yeah, that's our position. You aren't allowed to record the cops. No one is saying that. We're saying that you can't record the cops. No, that's okay. We want to record the cops. I started out saying, yes, let's record the cops. Let's record the cops.
While
right?
armed.
Like, okay. And while armed. All right, that's interesting. All right, record the cops
What's the point?
while armed. Okay,
the point?
great. That's a position, not the fucking same position that you started out with. There's the retreat, right? Because what we're talking about is forming a group, an organization that would be patrolling, that would be policing the police, right? And how do you actually do that? How do the police assert their authority while being armed and being able to use that threat against others, right? That's how they do it. So to pretend like, oh yes, well they would just have these guns like this armed group, right? And it wouldn't be a firefight. Of course not. That would never happen. Why would you think that, right? Oh, do you think black people are more violent? No one's fucking saying that. But what we are saying is that this increases the danger. This does increase the danger. And again, this is me. I'm more sympathetic to your side of this, right? That's what I was thinking. Like, yeah, you know what? It would be great if we could have that counterbalancing force, right? But like when I saw all of you just like, seemingly uncritically, considering that like we could have these quote unquote caretakers. Oh, I love that term, caretakers, right? And not have any issues, right? Well, that's my problem. Is that I'm considering the ramification, the consequences of this. There are deep consequences of having an armed group, right? That is going to counter the police. And how do you counter the police, right? By being willing to use the threat of force against them. That might be an issue. It might be an issue if other ethnic groups decide to do the same thing. It might be an issue if you are the wrong ethnic group in their neighborhood. Like how a gang operates. I don't know. Just considering that. But you can stop strawmanning us all fucking day, and then we can have a conversation.
No, it's not going to work the way you want it to.
I would say that like the added impetus, like you were saying that like, you know, when you speak, you know, other people let you listen, etc. These like measures, the part of this is respect. Another part of this is there is a threat of something that could happen, and that's it. So it's the same idea. It's like, would you be able to speak that way to a police officer? But what if you were armed legally? Would they let you finish your statement? It's just that. It's like extending your streaming ability. This is your platform, what have you. When you say that I want to be able to speak and finish my statements, we all listen to you, what have you. But then there's two hands there. There's the hand, Prime, respect me because I respect you. And then there's the hand of respect me because if you don't, you'll get the hand.
Alright, cool,
I listened
like,
to what you said, but I'm just a little confused as to what your point is. I apologize. Please, if you could rephrase that, please, Wiggle.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is it's the idea that if you were armed, people would hear you out more. You would have some more respect, you would have people that would listen and let you finish your statements, what have you. Like right now, you're armed with a mute button, a disconnect button, the ability to remove people from your platform, etc.
The ban button.
Yes.
Like
and you
imagine
see it implemented every day. You see it implemented every day. So it's like, how hard is it to see it outside of the structure?
No, I hear that. I mean, yes, when you would have I hear you. That makes sense. When you have the guns, right? That would be the whole point. That when you have the guns, that would mean that they could provide protection because cops would think twice. We had a white cop here. He used to come to these panels often. And
I'm sorry to hear that. Fuck with you.
Yeah, this is and I see your hand up there, Sig.
I guess he's policing the community.
We had a white cop who would show up on these panels many, many months ago.
I'm sorry, that was Top Dolphins, friend. I should take that back.
We had a cop. Anyway, he said, because we talked about this, right? We talked about because he was pro-gun, pro-arming everyone, this particular cop, right? And I asked about this, like, well, like, what would you do in a situation when, like, someone else was armed, right? He's like, well, it would change my behavior, right? Like, I'd have to be a lot more careful, right? If we're coming into a situation where, like, an armed protest, yeah, we watch our asses. I agree with you. I get that, right? I'm talking about all the other consequences to that. So I like that. I like that cops, right, like second guessing themselves. Love it. I love putting a little fear in their hearts, actually. I love that. I'm not against that part, right? Like, and Wiggle, sorry, excuse me, sorry, all black people look the same. Be more, I'm sorry. Be more, I has convinced me in the past, right?
Said the quiet part out loud.
I keep exactly right. I keep saying that the part that he has moved me on when it comes to guns is protecting ourselves against white violence, and white violence often comes in the form of the state. Right? So I hear you. I'm not like fully against this position. My problem are the other consequences of having this other group. That's why I'm considering here. And it feels like you guys aren't. You're just like ignoring that or brushing it off. That's what it feels like to me. All right, go
I'm
ahead.
willing to take those consequences.
Yeah,
That's just to piggyback a bit off what I think that's something that this whole idea of just like, hey, I've got the big stick. I'm speaking softly, but I still got the big stick, and if you fuck with me, I got this big stick. I'm gonna hit you with it. I don't know. I'm skeptical at how well this works for minority groups. Okay, I'm skeptical as like how much that really does work. Because like, yeah, I mean, sure, in like the nearby neighborhood of West Philly, yeah, you can sort of pull that shit. You can just be like, yeah, we got the sticks here, we got the guns, the police don't fuck around and everything. But at the same time, you go a little bit higher up, and you've got like the governor saying like, oh, what the fuck's going on over there? He's like, hey, hold on, oh, we can't do it. Those are good old boys on there, all right? Those are nice guys.
It
We
seems
can't really be fucking around.
There's an easy solution to
There's
this,
a
though.
bigger stick than you. There's a bigger, wider stick than what we've got going on, guys. We're not looking a little good.
The only way. Go ahead. What? Go ahead.
I was gonna say you brought up the hyperbole earlier of like nukes. It seems like if you're like a smaller country and you have nuclear arms, it does kind of work that way, right? Like if you look at the amount of respect that's commanded of like what North Korea or something in comparison to the United States, it seems like having some higher level of force does.
I disagree. I
Okay.
actually no. I'm sorry. That's a false dichotomy. North Korea has China to back them. If North Korea didn't have the backing of like actual
also have
real
nuclear
powers, they
arms.
wouldn't be shit.
So North Korea, to correct you, they actually do not have nuclear arms. They want nuclear arms. They don't
North
have.
Korea?
We
They
don't
don't
know. They're
proven
mum's the
that.
word. They may or may
They
not.
don't
I don't
have.
know. Whatever.
Don't believe.
Yeah,
I
Don't
think
believe.
I-
And
I would
Israel
actually-
doesn't
I would
have
actually-
nuclear arms either.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Please.
the real issue with Israel is the fact that like we're backing them, right? It's the fact that we're the ones that you really have to deal with when you fuck with Israel. That's
A
the
big
problem.
stick.
Okay, it's not. Yeah, we're the big stick. It's not fucking everyone's scared of North Korea. No, people are scared of China. Okay,
Yeah.
It's not
a
about the
thing.
I
fear. It's
bet
about
Japan's
the
scared of North
necessarily in that
Korea.
sense. It's about the idea that you're saying that you don't think the idea of like speak softly, carry a big stick in some measurement works in reality. And what I'm saying is, yes, it does. But you said you disagreed, so I brought
I
up
didn't
an
say it didn't
example.
work. No. I didn't say it didn't work. I said it doesn't. I said
Okay.
I'm skeptical as how it works for minority groups in,
Yeah.
in countries that necessarily don't have their best interest at heart. Okay.
So in that situation, right? If we're gonna have to, if this conversation is completely constricted to a Black Panther party, I'm sorry because I just don't care. But what I will say in this particular instance, Signature, that you bring up, this is when allies kick in, right? This is when BLM it does have white folks kick in. Like I understand that if we were creating an entity to police communities, or to police the police, or we're creating organizations to defend us, and it was only strictly restricted to us, then I would understand why that would be an issue, right? But if we were able to latch on with the Hispanic community, the LGBTQAI plus community, if we were to all band together as leftists instead of just simply Black people, but I guess this conversation is constricted to Black Panthers, so I guess I can't go down this route. But Sig, I'm just letting you know that there is solutions to this particular issue that you bring up.
We
No,
need
if
to form the
you're talking about like
Avengers.
coalition building and like
It's
all
not just
leftist-
coalition
just a
building.
bro-
No.
No, just like a broad leftist, like forming a broad leftist sort of thing here. Then like a lot of
Yeah,
things
but
I'm talking
but
about
but
is
let's not get it.
level.
But
Then-
let's not get it
No, I
twisted though,
think-
Sig. With guns though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not moving. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
I'm not backtracking.
I've never hold on,
Yeah,
Bimo. I've
yeah.
never been anti-gun this whole time.
No,
I've
I know,
never
I know.
spoken out
But
against
my
guns.
point is that if we can, first off, we're better than them, right? We're better than the fascists. We're better than the far right extremists. We can garner more support. We do have allies, right? And it's safe. We utilize them. Utilize them. There are white folks that do want to fight with us or
Yes.
for us,
And
right?
I would like Sig, like I feel like I listened to what you said, and I definitely hear that. It would definitely like if you had specifically minorities that stepped up, there would be detrimental effects to them to some extent, and there would be gain, but it'd be at the loss of some life or what have you. But then this goes back to the statement that Be More touched upon, which is the idea that in today's time, the majority of people that are standing up for black people's rights happen to be just white people. So if there's this many if there's this many white people that are coming out and protecting black individuals or what have you, let them. And if these people would be in part of these organizations, what have you, let them. I imagine there's more white people in the United States of America that know what the Black Panthers have done than black people, and that's the sad reality. It's not a good thing. It's a sad reality with education in this country. So like the idea of today is that like we would have a multipolar kind of group that would rise. We would have better coalition building. We're in the age of social media. We're in the age of coalition building. What was it, 20 something years ago, you had individuals like in basketball and NBA like Michael Jordan. And then even before then, you'd have like people like Larry Bird. Nowadays, the hero is LeBron James, one of the biggest coalition builders within the NBA. It's just the age. This is what people do as they work together and coalition build to get things done. Except for government.
I don't know. So, the idea of having a multiracial response, yeah, that would be great.
Thank you. We're good.
Well,
Yes,
That's it.
we
That's
agree.
it.
that
Yeah, thank
We
you.
did it.
would be great. Would that actually happen?
We
I'm not sure.
No.
No, hold
Yeah,
on.
first off,
Hold
yeah.
on. Listen, I'm literally trying to work this out, right? I came in here genuinely with my mind, unmade up. I'll slap your fucking head. Like, fuck your head.
just take the hand, right?
This is
no.
diplomacy at work.
No,
This is diplomacy.
I am not almost there. No, I'm not. No,
We'll
no.
laugh about this day.
We haven't. No, we haven't. Even if it was multiracial, that doesn't address my point. Wasn't simply that it was just black people doing this, right? My point is that we're adding more guns into this situation, and that there's more opportunities for violence, and that could have
What if
terrible
we gave them
consequences.
spears?
I think that having a multiracial group, I think would be helpful on that regard, right? To make things actually a little less explosive. I mean, would the cops shoot if there was like, how would the cops react if they were being confronted by a group of all black people or a multiracial group that's armed, right? That might be different. It might actually be different. So I'm acknowledging that might add something to this, right? Would that actually happen, right? This is something that's leftist people have been talking about for a long time, right? You know,
I
the
think
difference
we're
between
gonna-
like allies and like accomplices, right? That like a lot of people, you know, they say they are the people who go to a BLM march, right? And take a picture, right? And then like go off to like a cafe or something, right? Like, oh yeah, you know, like I support black rights, you know, and then like they fuck off, right? These aren't like real allies. They're not really backing us up. So when you say necessarily that we would have a lot of white individuals taking part of this, like it's different when guns are involved. It's different with the possibility of violence. Are you actually going to step up for an issue that doesn't necessarily affect you? Maybe not. I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't give you a census, right, of what that would look like. I don't know. I wouldn't rely on it. I certainly wouldn't.
You don't have to.
But
We're
like,
not
It's what
gonna
B
hinder
more.
the
It's what B more stated earlier. It's like you
Mhm.
would have like gun rights activists, gun ownership activists that that would love that. They would love to branch out and grab more people to fight for their own coalition building, which is, you know, the advancement of gun ownership rights. And they would see this as an opportunity. And I would imagine the majority of those people would be white individuals.
It is. Yep. Let's see, what's the National African American Gun Association? They receive money from Hornady. They receive money from top gun manufacturers because I mean, at the end of the day, they want to sell guns. So what do they do in return? They're literally forking over money to black gun organizations who understand the issues that black people go through because they're black and also want to arm their peers. But I'm gonna just say straight up, yeah, there's straight people. I mean, I wish there was more that were fighting for the rights of the LGBTQIA plus community. Yes, there are white people out there fighting for the rights of black people. I wish there was more. But guess what? Look,
They're
there, and we should reach out to them. And then here's the thing, though: it's like if we're gonna go about, I want to go about. I just only want to go about the modern approach. The modern approach. I don't want to stay fixated on, but the Black Panthers patrolling, following cops. If that's the question, so be it. But look, there's modern ways to go about this. I went to protest regularly, and I had a gun on me, right? I didn't open carry, but I had the means, and I'm trained, and I'm proficient, and so were my peers, right? We were watching the cops. Why? Keeping an eye on them. No big deal. I didn't have much of an agenda. I just wanted to. I'm there. I'm capable, and we need to do this. We need groups of people with shared ideals doing this. I just don't like the idea that me being armed, it has to be open, right? Me being armed, I have to brandish it. Me being armed, I have to be inflammatory. Like to me, none of this shit aligns. It doesn't align with my personality. It doesn't align with my advocacy, and it doesn't align with my peers, right? It doesn't. So it's like the modern approach would simply be different. If I really wanted to follow cops around, I would use drones, right? If I absolutely wanted to, because guess what? It's 2021, and I got the tech, right? So it's just like I don't know. I really don't know how to go about this anymore. Really, it's just like
So I
Doesn't
guess
it feel-
be
doesn't it
more
feel
Wiggle
great, though?
and whoever else, right? I just want to make sure.
This
So
is America.
When
Doesn't
posed
it
with the
feel
question,
great?
do you think there should be like an organization of an organized group of armed cop watchers following the cops around, like dedicating time, not like accidentally during their everyday life, but dedicating time
you
to
mean
follow
a,
cops around?
wait,
Do
wait,
you
time
think
out.
that this should be something that is encouraged and that people should do this?
Wait,
That's all
yeah,
really hearing.
I mean,
Yes.
like an armed neighborhood watch. Sure, why the fuck not? I'll let my grandma use a fucking gun. Yeah, sure.
Not
Why did
people
you feel like
watching,
you
not
needed to
an
interrupt
armed
him
group
to
of
give
people
that
watching the
answer?
neighborhood, an armed group of people specifically watching and following cops.
how would they
Right?
even know? First,
Not
see this.
like
Police to
like
police. That was the
'cause
question.
That was the original
Yeah,
prompt,
so-
right? And so like I make sure like if that's something you guys don't agree with, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah,
I
that's
just want
okay.
to see if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wait, do you be more? Do you be more? Do you answer the question? Can he answer it? Be more? Do you feel like that's okay?
What, following the cops?
Yes, like
An
what
armed
Top
group.
Dolphin said, an armed group of people literally following around the cops in their neighborhood and just watching them.
There's
Open
modern ways.
carrying
There's modern ways to follow cops. I'm gonna go
Okay.
about it the smarter way. I mean, I wouldn't mind people using technology to like follow cops. Also,
No, on
in
the ground,
general,
on the
like-
ground. Now, what do you say? Okay, you're saying okay, you would use drones. Fine, whatever.
no.
We're talking about are people driving around in cars, right? Driving around in cars, following the police, armed, right? When they're in certain neighborhoods,
If it's
willing to
community-based-
be able to use violence against, like an organization dedicated to doing that. That's what we're talking about. Not whatever you're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
Mhm.
So,
Or I guess,
are you
I
in
guess,
favor
I
of
guess
it?
the question was, would those drones be armed, right? If we want to take a modern approach to this, would you have armed drones watching the cops?
No, we will have armed people ready to respond. Like Prime's question.
That was the original question. Armed people, right? So do you have a problem with that? Armed people following the cops around?
Overall, no. I mean, like if the cops are following the law and they're not threatening anyone, and these individuals, all they're doing is, recording.
They've broken the law. No, they've done something, right? Because that's the whole point. They've the cops. Yes.
That wasn't the question that Top Dolphin
Is
asked.
it? No. Is it the whole point?
Hold on.
No.
Hold on. Yes, that's the whole point. Why are we even considering this? If the cops always follow the law? If the cops always follow the law, right?
No.
I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on.
I got it. Can I help?
Wait,
please,
Fanatic,
keep it trying.
10 hours. Like, hold on. I think what Prime is asking is he's like, okay, so you're okay with them following around the cops. So then the question becomes, in the case that they then break the law, what do you think should happen in that situation?
It depends on the extent, right? So, for example, if a police officer is let's say in this current moment, you see it, you fucking see it, you know it, it's obvious, you recorded it, right? Because the whole point is you're supposed to be recording from the beginning. And this officer is is taking the life of someone, right? I don't believe that our self-defense or like our right to self-defense this ends with police officers. Like, or the right to protect someone ends with police officers. Like, there's this entity that's allowed to be as tyrannical as possible, and you just simply have to tolerate it. Just take it up with the courts later. Not necessarily, no. But just because the cops is like plants evidence on someone or like bitch slap someone, that's against the law. That doesn't, to me, that doesn't justify ending their life.
Okay,
right?
but if a cop you see shoot a person like unlawfully for no reason, what do you think that this?
If somebody believes that they can get if somebody believes that they can shoot that cop and stop that officer from murdering someone, right? Then I think, and if they're okay with it, and if it aligns with their morality, they're okay to do it. That's on them. I will support them in their efforts. So yes, let's just be clear.
Yeah,
there you go. You guys have it.
Wiggle, do you agree with that?
B-More knows far more about guns than I do, but I would agree. I think essentially though, like the idea of having community watchers in this day and age compared to like 1960s, what have you, would be different. It'd be like I would have people in my neighborhood. I'd have people in stores or outside parking lots, what have you. So the idea of following a cop while they're driving would be kind of unnecessary while they're driving, because you'd already have people at the locations they're going to, and then it gets rid of that stupid idea of like you're chasing a cop, which would be illegal, or you're following a cop. And it'd be smarter because you would have people at the locations the cops would be going to, and then from there you're just filming in a neighborhood.
And
You're
Pyro?
armed as well. Yeah.
I think this, yeah, like I think with the way we think about community policing when we talk about the issue of policing in itself, like this idea of like, yo, we're staking out the cops is like, it seems like it's out of some like 1970s bad buddy cop film. Like, we're not saying that there's gonna be someone like following the cops everywhere they go, making sure they do everything, but more like when Wiggle said, like when they're within the community, there's people there. Like I think that's something
I
that's
don't know.
like
It's the same
everyone's
thing. I don't know why
talking
you
about.
guys are drawing this distinction. It's literally the same thing, right? Like I said within the neighborhood, within that neighborhood, right? So whether they're actually following them with a car or just happen to be at the spot, I don't know. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is what happens afterwards, right? Like, so we have this group of people either at the location already somehow or following them. Okay, and the cops do a violation. So Wiggle and Pyro, are you for them taking an armed response after using those guns?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like I'm with
Okay.
Beamer on this. Like, yeah, I
Okay.
don't think that self-defense or the defense of others like stops with the police or anyone else for that matter. If I'm gonna take that action, I better damn well be fucking justified, because no matter who I am or what my profession is, I should be going to jail if I'm not in the right. So if I'm a community serviceman and I take that shot and I'm not in the right, I'm going to jail. The same if it would be if I were a cop or like a politician or anything. And that's how I think.
No.
I don't.
Hold on. Well, I got to be clear. So, Wiggle, I will get back to you. I want to hear what you have to say. Pyro, right? So you're talking about going to jail. So are you saying these people are going to arrest the police, right? Is that what you're saying? Or they're just
No, I'm saying if like a community serviceman says like, oh shit, this cop is doing something bad, I need to shoot them, and they kill them, and then like they go to court, they should be going to court. And if the court say like, yo, you weren't in the right in that, you get full justice. I think that should be the same with a community service person, like we're talking about, like a Black Panther, and a police officer. If a police officer shoots someone and the courts say, yo, you weren't in the right on that, you go to jail. Justice on all sides.
okay.
Like,
all right.
Because police are civilians.
Hold on. It wouldn't be justice because it would be extrajudicial, right? So then, like in this case, what you're advocating for is realistically like having people really execute the law on their own, because they would be seeing police kill someone, and then in response to the police killing someone, instead of allowing the justice system to do its job, you would think that they would be the justice and they would be able to kill the police in that case.
So
go ahead.
So I think in this situation,
Wait. Not in self-defense. This is a person that watched a cop kill another person and in response killed the cop. That's not self-defense.
This is getting
twisted, right? With that?
I want to hear what Pyro says, because it's Pyro, please.
So in the original example that Prime brought up, like we're watching a cop do something that is like illegal, like right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in your
life person.
Like life threatening. So yes. Yes, in the example that it's life threatening, where like you're defending someone else or yourself. Yeah,
Defending.
defending. I believe that a civilian community member should be able to take that shot, and
If
then
it,
the courts decide what, like, if it was justified or not. You have to
True.
have a case
True.
before you
Okay,
take
okay,
that shot.
okay. I
You better
got
be
you. I got you.
confident.
Let's make sure we're not
That's it.
weaseling.
It's
Okay, let's make sure. Okay, I got you. Let's make sure we're not weaseling. In the case you witnessed a cop. Now I'm making this very specific question. In the case you witnessed a cop kill someone, and you believe it is unlawful. Do you believe that a person who was part of that coalition who witnessed a cop kill someone should have the ability to then kill that cop?
can I answer this? Can I answer this
no,
real
I'm
quick?
asking
no,
you.
no,
No, no,
I'm
no.
He's,
asking
no, no,
Byron.
no, no. He's asking me specifically. I understand like what you're trying to do. No, if you're saying they've already killed the person, no. But if
Okay.
they're like, if you're like saying like, oh, I'm catching you in the act, and like it's like, yo, I got like, I pull the trigger or I don't. If I catch you in the act of trying to kill someone and I pull the trigger in defense, I'm okay with that. If I find out that this person's killed someone, I don't believe in vigilante justice where you go out and you kill them.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then okay, great. That's a great response. And then the next question becomes, so then that means now, in the case in which a cop draws his gun and he's pointing it at an individual, like you don't know whether or not he's going to kill the individual or not,
Oh yeah.
but he just has his gun drawn, and you feel like it's unreasonable. He has no reason to have his gun drawn. What do you think? What do you think this group should do in that situation?
Oh, can I answer this one? Like, what you do
Can I?
is you get ready.
Either one.
That's what you do. Because just because the
What does
shot
get
is
ready mean?
fired.
That's too vague.
Okay, okay.
What does get ready mean?
So first off,
Alright.
get your hand on your put your hand on your damn gun, right? Don't unholster it yet. Don't wait. And if that officer, like let's remember the criteria is being met where the person believes that this officer is on the verge of murdering someone, not killing someone out of need, right? Murdering someone, right?
Right. Mhm.
Just if that officer shoots, you shoot. Because just because that
Right.
officer shoots, listen. Just because that officer shoots doesn't mean he hit his target. Just because that officer shoots doesn't mean the person's gonna die. Because if you take a look at the average, like on cop shooting, they're shooting anywhere between 3 to 7 times, right? So if you believe that you honestly do believe, you have the information, you have the video, that this individual should not be shot right now. What you need to do is ensure that that officer is not allowed, cannot realign the sight picture and shoot off multiple rounds in hopes of saving the life of the individual who's being shot at.
Okay. All right.
I was
Well,
gonna
you
say
committed to it.
a couple things. Like one, first and foremost, is like ideally though, if you are policing a neighborhood for other individuals and you are armed, you would likely be the individual in this case that would be shot. Because you would be putting yourself in a position where you would be the one in danger, not the individual that you're protecting. And so you'd be the individual that would have like a gun brandished on you, ideally. And then outside of that would be that I don't know. I was under the impression by gun owners, et cetera, is that when you brandish a weapon against someone like a gun, and then you shoot someone, you're shooting with the intent to kill.
No,
So
that's not true. You're shooting with the intention to stop the threat. Like when like for example, let's say I shoot this officer, right? And I hit him under his plate carrier in a non-lethal location though, and he drops his gun. I'm not gonna keep shooting him. What I will do is render aid. Because what my goal was to stop this guy from killing someone that didn't have that shouldn't have
yeah.
been killed.
So if
So
if
I
you
will,
don't have a
I'll open up my JPAC, start up a tourniquet, and I will save this cop's life. Because my goal is to protect the community. And guess what? Believe it or not, this police officer is also a member of the community. Ideally, that's a different story, right? But ideally, so yeah, my goal is not to kill cops here. My goal is to save someone from being murdered by someone. And just, my point is, if some random ass motherfucker was trying to shoot Fanatiq or trying to shoot Pyro, I would stop that person. Oh,
Yeah,
but that guy was, but that guy was a
this
cop
is-
though. Oh, congratulations! Like I said, I will defend Fanatiq. I'll defend Pyro. This person being a cop is not going to stop me. I'm not going to be like, oh, I guess I got to let the nigga die.
it's the instance of like the cop does have this plate carrier, etc. In the instance where the cop pulls the gun on an individual, would they be shooting with the intention you're saying to stop them and then give them aid? Or like you were explaining, it would be like 3 to like 10 shots. You were saying, and they would likely kill the individual. So are
yeah.
they on the chance of the cop? Is what I'd be asking, because it would work both ways. Because the cop is brandishing a weapon against somebody in the scenario that also has a weapon.
So cops are supposed to shoot with the intention of stopping the threat. Unfortunately, they're able to use the excuse of that they were in fear for their life, and at that point, they're able just to mag dump. So it's like, in theory, cops are supposed to shoot to stop the threat. If a cop shoots someone and the person drops the gun at that moment, they're supposed to stop. But unfortunately, the way things are codified, the way our system works, our judicial system, and so on, they could just mag dump because they were scared.
And so then I add this. So when we're talking about variability before, etc. So if there's an individual that isn't like you, that is watching and is armed, and there's a police officer, and this person isn't taking action, but is like armed, and the officer can see it, and they shoot this this suspect or this person, are they more likely to get that aid for that individual or take that third or fourth, fifth, sixth shot?
Who? A police officer?
A police officer. So if they shot to stop this other person and there's a community watcher that is armed, is the police officer more likely to keep shooting at this individual, specifically through the kind of loophole that you're discussing, or they're more likely to go through with the protocol and get aid for that person and make sure they're alive?
First off, me practicing my constitutional right doesn't exclude them from the duty of rendering aid. Like, they are required at that point, right?
Yeah,
People
but do you think it'd be more likely to happen? More likely?
I think that they'll feel more obligated to. And then not only that, if the police didn't, I would. But yeah, I think that's illegal.
So
Like, it's illegal. Would they be more likely to break the law is a question. I don't know.
some
I don't think so.
So
someone
my
in-
biggest problem with this is so one, I think you have like a better case for an example, and I'll just use this because it's like everyone knows. It's like the George Floyd example. Like if like Derek Chauvin is like kneeling on George Floyd's neck, sure he doesn't have a gun, but he's like actively killing a man, should you be able to stop? Because like that's something you can kind of observe and like, but like in any case where like the cop like pulls a gun on somebody else and like I don't think that a bystander almost ever has the necessary information to distinguish between a justified and unjustified cop killing in the moment.
First off, right?
Like how like I mean like I'm like you can mention
Okay, let me
how does
cover it.
How does B-more know the difference between a cop who is justified in killing someone and a cop who is not justified in killing
I can't
someone?
show up. I cannot show up to the tail end of an altercation and then come to these sweeping decisions, right? I would have to have been there, like either at the point of contact or earlier on in the engagement. But to me, it is quite clear when somebody is a lawful combatant or not. It's quite clear when if somebody's a threat or not. Somebody with their hands up saying, "Please don't shoot me," isn't a threat. Like, like somebody, like for example, I don't know if y'all remember the old video of the guy of his knees on the floor. Cops are telling him, "Get up, get down, hands up, hands down, hands up, hands down." In this particular situation, all I see is an individual complying to too many orders. Like in these situations, police officers, and first off, the military is trained that only one person is supposed to be given the orders, right? In this case,
not. That dude literally reached behind his back, and it was a threat. The cop literally specifically told him, "Do not reach behind your back again."
he was receiving
No,
4,
no, no,
5,
no,
6
no,
Wait, are we
orders.
talking about like the white dude in
Fanatiq,
I
I'm
think
not gonna let you do
Texas
that.
who was like playing Simon Says with the cops
Yes.
in like a
I'm thinking
hallway?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's clearly
That
drunk,
guy,
yeah.
I'm saying,
That
I'm
guy-
sorry, and maybe
that guy-
before you guys attack me for what I'm saying, let me make sure what I'm saying is understood, because I
Okay.
always speak in fact. What I said was factually, the cop told him specifically, "Do not reach behind your back again," and the man reached behind his back again. Did that happen or did it not?
He was falling.
Okay,
His
wait,
pants are falling down.
Okay, so he did reach behind his back. Did it
After a
happen,
long
or
series
did it
of
happen?
up, Simon
Did
Says.
it? Okay, got you. I don't care. Did it happen or did it
Yeah, it
not?
happened. No, Fanatiq, it totally happened.
So then, if the guy reached behind his back in that situation, that's why the cop responded in the way that he did. So,
No, it's not.
Characterizing it instead of
can't
take-
characterizing
let's just let it. Let
Let
Fanatiq go.
instead of characterizing, this is a situation in which the cop just shot somebody for literally no reason whatsoever. We do have actual evidence, and you guys all here admitted to the fact that the guy did reach behind his back. There was a threat that the guy had a gun inside of his freaking room. because he apparently did. Yes,
This
I
is bad.
agree. I agree. Yes, I agree that they didn't need to, the way the cop was issuing the commands, there were too many commands coming at once. But but what I do know for sure is that the second that guy reached behind his back, that he was a threat. The same way that I argued when Jacob Blake reached into his car, he was a threat. It makes all the sense in the world to me. I don't know why you guys are being hit.
Wait, hold on.
No.
Okay, just to be
hold on,
clear.
wait,
So
wait,
this
wait,
is
wait,
a
wait,
very
hold on,
old case. I don't remember the situation. But wasn't the call literally that the guy had like a long barrel rifle or something, not like a pistol, right? And wasn't the guy literally so drunk that he could like barely speak? Like
He was fucking
like, the
wasted.
cop
He
needed to take a
couldn't follow
little bit of
commands,
like.
That's crazy. It almost sounds like you're assuming that the cop,
It's been a really long time, but
I know it has been a long time, and it almost sounds like you're assuming that when the dispatcher gave the cop the information, that they went into all of those specific details. What they would say to the cops on the ground in that situation is the suspect is armed. There's been like reports about an arm at a room. I mean, about a gun being brandished outside of a room. They wouldn't go into an long barrel shotgun.
well, they
They will.
absolutely
They
would
actually
give that.
would.
Like,
They
they would.
absolutely
Like
would.
if they said they absolutely would give that information. 100%.
Hey, so hold on.
You're living in fantasy land if you believe that all the SWAT teams are thoroughly informed into all of that information. On
they
the
are.
They have it. They don't
They
always
are.
have it, but sometimes they do.
Bro,
right?
They are.
From the dispatcher, it's being given to another person. Freak out of here! You guys are absolutely.
They are.
Smooth, give it a try.
Hold on. So real quick. Again, this is another area where I have actual expertise. So my mother was in dispatch several years. They give everything, like literally everything. They give a line by line account. Like when the dispatcher when you call 911 and they ask you all those very specific questions, they are literally relaying that same information. Now, whether they actually they have a job to relay all that information. Like suspect was seen with a rifle, blah, blah, blah. So they can be armed correctly. If they don't give the cop the information, because if they leave out information like, oh, that guy has a grenade, that would be kind of wild to leave that information out. Like,
also, you want to bring a rifle to a rifle fight.
Everything necessary.
Oh my God.
No, it's not. Dispatch is
literally making this up.
Discharge is
dispatch, and I don't know how your mother being a dispatch makes you an expert any more than my mother being a psychologist makes me a freaking expert in psychology. What the freak are you talking about?
But no, I'm literally telling you what the procedure is because that's what happens. Okay, you can go if you actually go there and you actually sit in there for a day, you'd actually find out what actually goes on. They actually did that. They actually let you bring your child to work day. It was a thing. They actually had food and all that other stuff, and they let you see what happened. So, hey, I'm just saying.
That makes you an expert on the field. Are you crazy?
It doesn't make me an expert. It doesn't make me an expert, but it does give me a little bit more insight than you actually have.
Okay, so let me both back up Fanatiq and then also attack Fanatiq, my favorite thing in the world. Okay. Fanatiq, if you're attacked, then we can hear that last thing. You were muted then. You're saying something to us. But
I'm saying, like, I'm not going to defer to you as an expert on a subject because your mother brought you to work one day. What the frick are you talking about?
No. Okay, so hold on. I'll back up a little bit because all right, look, when a police officer responds to a situation, right? Yes, the dispatcher can relay everything that they've heard, right? Like, let's say in the best case scenario, the dispatcher relays everything that they've been given to, all information they've been given. But who they've been given that information from a person on the ground, right? An eyewitness in a stressful situation who may not understand everything, right? So like the suspicious black man, right? Like, oh, I thought he was armed when he wasn't, right? Like a person who is given that information may not have all information. So even then, an officer is coming in with like lots of questions, a lot of unknown variables, despite whatever even if they give them all information or none of the information, right? They're still missing variables when a police officer responds, right? And they have to act accordingly. So I'll put that out there. But then on the other side of this, in terms of the instance he's talking about, the guy reaches behind his back, I still don't think that's a reason for the police to gun him down. You did not actually confirm that he had a weapon. I don't give a shit. You can say don't reach behind your back, right? But the part when you actually kill, right, is when you're under threat.
Exactly.
hand behind your back is not under threat, right?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and
Police
disagree
are
with
the
this.
entire
and if you see
executioner.
military office, like in military combatants, can't even, or I don't know if it's still the case, but in the past,
This is not a
couldn't
military
even shoot people
combatant.
until they actually saw like a weapon.
Yes.
Right?
Well, I know,
So
and
they're the
unfortunately, our
Oh,
police have a totally
wait.
different standard. But what I've witnessed, in my what I'm seeing, because I can definitely pull up cases where police have pulled up, where people have literally pulled out a gun and shot an officer while being while they were being arrested, while they were being
this
for
is
a
different.
traffic stop. I've
This
seen
is
those
different.
cases.
This is different.
The only difference in this case is
No,
case,
it's a big difference.
You're right. It is a little bit different. You're right. And
Yeah, let me explain the difference because you're ignoring the facts.
The big difference in this situation is that in
never
this
beat
case, the big difference in this situation
You'll never
is
beat
that
the
in
trigger.
this case, the big difference in this situation is that in this case, they
You'll
already
never
had
beat the
prior
trigger.
information that clearly indicated that the person that they were arresting was actually armed, which made it even significantly more
never
dangerous for these
beat the
officers.
trigger.
And
Whereas-
can
You'll
I
never
build
beat
it
the
up?
trigger.
Let's be
In the same
specific.
sense-
Hey, time out.
Responding to a
in the
call.
same sense, in the
Listen.
same sense, they didn't have the information. As I'm saying, they
Listen.
don't know exactly 100% of all the guns that the guy
Here's the
had.
thing.
Sure, even if they had information that indicated that the guy had a long barrel shotgun, that doesn't mean that's the only gun that was
That
there,
doesn't
or long
matter.
barrel rifle. I'm sorry, that doesn't mean that's
Doesn't
the
matter.
only gun that's on the premises. And here
Doesn't
they
matter.
have an armed guy
Fam?
inside of a thing, and they don't know if he has a pistol on him. They
Doesn't matter.
specifically tell him not to
Okay.
reach behind his back, and he did so. I
Let
don't
me
know
explain.
what
Let me explain to you why this doesn't matter. Let me explain to you why this doesn't matter.
I don't know if you've done this before, but I'm going to ask you to down a long hallway on your knees with your hands up behind your head to try and walk that to the police.
That's not even the important
Try and
point.
do
That's not
that
even the important
with your
point. Please.
arms.
Please.
Let's not finish, please.
Got up. He was on all fours and then got up and then reached behind his back.
Smooth, go ahead.
This is not.
Finish your, hold on. I want to hear what Smooth has to say. Please, Smooth.
Okay, so listen. When you're in the act of doing that, you cannot properly catch yourself. Therefore, when his arms came down, he felt himself falling, which is a normal human reflex. You're going to go try and catch yourself. Also, when you're doing that, you're going to also go to pull your pants up because his pants were dragging himself down and making him actually fall over. He went to correct himself, and they penalized him for correcting himself so he could be able to comply with their commands.
Let's go back in time a little
They
bit.
literally put him in an impossible no-win situation. I
Yeah.
watched that whole video several
I watched
times.
the
He
entire
was in
video,
a
and I
no-win
disagree with
situation.
literally everything that you're saying.
So here's the
But
thing.
I totally
Oh,
understand
my.
that a person will fall. I get that walking this way on your knees, that it's likely that a person will fall, especially if a person is inebriated. I will gladly give you that. No debate there. But what I'm talking about is after he was walking on all fours to then stand up and reach behind your back. That was it. I mean, not stand up, to go off of all fours onto just his knees and reach behind his back looked threatening to the officers. Hell, it looked threatening to me. I went from like hearing about the story, completely alarmed, to watching it like, oh, okay, no, I can understand that. The exact same thing that happened in the Jacob Blake situation.
Okay. Look. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You got a guy down range. You have your sight picture already lined up. You have your finger on your trigger. You have your safety disengaged. You have the drop on him. You'll never beat the trigger, right? The amount of time it takes you to grab your gun and make sure you even have your grip. You know how hard it is to behind the back draw? I've trained on it. It's the worst way to carry. You always want to do appendix, or you want to do outside holster to the left or to the right, depending on what hand your dominant hand is, right? So to reach your hand from concealed carry and using a proper holster, get your fucking gun perfectly gripped over, move around, bring it up, align your sight picture from your front reticle to your rear sight, then to push 3.5 on average to 5.5 pounds of pressure. No, but here's the problem, though. You're gonna let me fucking finish, bro. You're gonna let me fucking finish, bro. But I'm not gonna play this stupid ass game, bro.
He's gotta go.
No, this is stupid as fuck that you won't even let me finish when I literally just let you fucking talk. And I made you.
Well,
you make
interject the entire time.
You can make the worst. Hey, you can make the worst fucking points.
Okay. All right. Be more. I want to hear.
I'm not even done
now.
yet. Not even
Oh
done
my
yet.
God! Everyone, shut the fuck up. I want to hear from Be-more now, please.
Don't say everybody. I'm trying to finish.
Be-more.
It was you. You did that too.
Be-more.
Okay. Just make your point.
While I was
Make your point.
Don't pull
Make
that.
your point. Please, Be-more.
Easy. This officer already has his rifle on him. Already has his sight picture on him. He probably has his finger on the trigger, and all that take up that's left on that trigger, half of the damn trigger pull, is already taken care of. There is no damn way this person is going to be able to do all the things I just outlined to you within the time it takes an officer to simply press a button. It's just dumb. This officer was never in danger. Don't fall for the fucking bullshit.
Okay, so yeah, to respond to your banal point, like, yes, I understand that this thing would take longer, but the thing that you have to worry about is reaction time. And half of the things that you're describing are not necessary for the officer to be killed. As I can show you several videos where all the guy needs to do is reach from behind his back and instantly pull the trigger. Now you're saying
It's
that the
not
guy's
that
gonna have
instant.
enough. You're saying, there you go, you're doing that thing again. Shut the hell up. And then I won't do it back to you. You're saying that the officer's automatically going to have the ability to be able to respond in that time. It literally takes less than 2 seconds. Once the guy has his hand on his gun, it takes less than a second for the guy to pull the gun and shoot at him. And that literally happened. I can show you video evidence of this occurring, and that's what the officer was afraid of. The reason why the officer told him not to reach beyond his back.
Okay,
No.
okay.
Isn't the military?
takes-
Isn't it like
it takes-
literally
it
like
takes
a
longer.
21-foot rule where if like a guy has a knife and is 21 feet away,
That's a
you
separate
can't
situation.
like he can charge you before you can get the shot off? Like,
Yeah.
isn't that like a thing?
That's
I
a
feel
that's a
like-
bad
I
situation.
Not the
feel like-
military. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fanatic,
I don't know. I feel like you'd have to be, and I just gotta back up, be more on this. Like,
You have to be
think you'd
John Wick.
Like you'd have to be so you have to be like a trained like fucking like ranger, right? Army ranger. I don't know,
What are you
and maybe even
talking
then
about?
you gotta.
Wait, hold on.
you-
If you're talking about accurately, and if you're talking about a trained person in order to be consistent with it, sure. But we're not worried about consistency. When you start talking about my life being on the line, I'm not thinking about, well, what's the likelihood? If
Fanatic.
if a person is holding a gun sideways, then their like rate of like accuracy declines like 30%. So I'm not really
Fanatic,
afraid.
can I
What
ask
are we
you-
talking
and
about?
this- and
He
this-
has a
ask you a
gun.
question.
He's reaching behind his back. We don't know if he's going to pull
Fanatic.
that gun out and start shooting. They have to be afraid for their lives in those situations.
No, and this is
Fanatic.
the problem, and this is the problem with policing, right? And I can't believe you're even backing this up, right? Because
Yeah.
of course, like the police should be able to put their lives on the line, right? They should expect that their lives are going to be in danger, right? They should be putting their lives on the line, right? That's what they say, right? We're putting our lives on the line, right? We're putting ourselves in danger for the public, right? And that requires some risk, right? And so, right, and issues of uncertainty, which is all policing. All policing, we are going to a situation is issues of great uncertainty, right? In those situations, the risk should be on the cop. So the risk shouldn't be like, well, like I don't want to take zero
risk is on
risk,
the
right?
cop
So
that's
I'm gonna
always
put
there.
this guy in the ground right now. I'm going to like mag jump, as B. Morris said, because he made a suspicious move. No, that should not be reasonable for a reasonable way of operating. No way. Like, you
At
should
all.
actually have to. You should confirm at the very least that there's a weapon, right? Your hand behind your back does not equal weapon. Those things are not synonymous, right? That does not mean that the cop or anyone else is about to die. There are all kinds of reasons why that could happen. He pulls out a gun. He starts to try to train that on the cop. Okay, well then I think you should probably shoot. And like Be More perfectly said, he already had the jump on him. The guy was gonna go down if he tried
I already
it, right?
responded to that, so I'm not going to address that.
So,
That doesn't make any
Fanatic,
sense. I'm done with that
can I
statement.
ask you, Fanatic? I need to ask you a very serious question. Okay, have you either A, pointed a gun at someone with intent to kill them and had to jump on them, or B, also have you been the person that was trying to pull it from behind your back and trying to shoot someone?
Listen, because you literally tried to say that you were the authority just by having a freaking.
I'm not trying to say I'm the
by showing
authority.
up to your mother's work for a day as a child. I'm literally not engaging in this stupid question. Move
That's
on.
a great question. Have you tried it?
For
You
for
can say it's
reference,
great if you want to. I'm not
Because
engaging in it. It's
frames
stupid.
your
I'm not
all
perspective.
good.
engaging in it.
It frames your
for
perspective.
for reference,
It frames your perspective.
Dumb question, and I'm not engaging in it.
for reference, only Smooth claimed an appeal to authority when it came to being in the military. When it came to this instance, he just said that on the
said he was an
panel he would have
authority.
experience. He said he would
no,
have
he said he has
experience.
an expert. He said expert.
He said
expert.
literal
said you were an
expertise.
expert?
He said literal expertise.
Yes.
That was the
Oh,
words
wow.
that came out of his mouth.
That's on
Yeah,
you,
I
bro.
know.
got it.
I
Right?
tried.
It sounds crazy, right? It sounds
That's
stupid.
on you, man.
I
I
know, he
tried.
said
We got an
I know.
expert here.
We're still cool though, but like I can't save you from that, my guy.
Yeah, that was OD.
No. What I was saying was, Fanatic was acting as if he's an expert on that thing when he has no experience in either or scenario.
I don't know. I carried a rifle for a living.
Okay.
When you have to drop on somebody, you got to drop on somebody. There was no threat yet. You had to confirm
Yeah.
that your life is at
I
stake.
mean, like,
you didn't see a gun. You're expecting this drunk ass, crying ass motherfucker, the John Wick dude, fucking 360
You're
no
not
scope.
dealing with
When you
Hawkeye.
already, when
No,
all
you get
it
lucky with a
takes,
shot. Just get a
all
lucky
it
shot
no,
and
all
kill
it takes is
somebody.
0.2 seconds to pull that damn trigger. It doesn't. No.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Bro,
Here's the
Do you
thing.
think the average human reaction time is 0.2 seconds?
When your finger is already on the trigger, do you think the human reaction time of pulling a gun from behind your damn back, aligning a sight picture, and hitting
Yeah.
a dude
Yeah, people, I don't
who's
think you know how
wearing a plate
reaction
carrier?
time works.
I don't think
think
you do.
know how reaction time
Wait,
works.
it's almost
Not
as
me.
if
The guy
but
has
like
scope.
I
Fanatic.
already addressed this.
it's almost like I didn't go down range.
Fanatic.
It's almost as if I didn't deploy twice. It wasn't
Wait,
like I wasn't a
Fanatic.
dat cow.
But you're saying
what the hell?
Fanatic.
Yes.
You're sitting here laughing.
It's
like
almost
this
as if I never got shot at. Like this
Wait,
is dumb.
Fanatic. You're the what? You're
Right.
laughing about your.
That
But
doesn't
like
change how human reaction.
Fanatic.
What
You're
the
talking
frick?
about human reaction times, but you're expecting this drunk, incapacitated guy to
wasn't
like
a
just
threat.
pull a
Yet.
gun out his back and like do some like Agent 7 bullshit. Like no.
Look,
He wasn't
look,
incapacitated.
come on,
He
Pyro,
couldn't
you're
even
smarter than
crawl.
this.
He was
No one's
drunk.
talking about Agent 7. Again, it doesn't require some super adept shooters. I can show you like videos where a guy reaches into his car and then just randomly pulls his gun and starts shooting at the
Nah.
cops, and one of the cops actually gets shot and injured.
So you're
literally.
saying this
So
cop
the
was
fact of
scared
the
because he
matter is-
saw a
so the
YouTube
fact that-
video. Got it. So we're
what I'm
supposed to
saying is-
take
what
that.
I'm saying is,
Don't
I
watch
like how you're
YouTube
trying to be
videos,
pejorative. I like
cops.
how you're trying to be pejorative, but if you're actually trying to contribute to the
So-
conversation,
so
what I'm
listen.
actually saying, what I'm saying is that when they're trained, those are actually the videos that they show to the cops in order to help them to understand what's at stake. The reason why cops are so hyper reactive in these situations in the first place.
No.
And I'm saying that realistically, that's an actual threat that cop could have recognized, and that's the reason why he shot.
He could've
So
been scared
in a
'cause he saw
car, you don't
YouTube
have full
videos.
visibility on someone. They had
They weren't in
Exactly.
a car at the time. They weren't in a car. They were standing outside the car.
And they had to be standing outside the car. You can't. If I reach under my seat, you don't know what I'm getting. So
He
yes,
didn't
I
reach under his
understand
seat. He
this.
just reached into
I
his driver's
understand
seat.
the
You don't
perceived
understand the
threat level.
situation, and you're talking about it like you know. He just reached into his driver's seat. That's where the gun was sitting. He reached in there and immediately pulled it out and shot an officer.
What I learned.
I'm talking about pulling it from
I
behind your
think
back.
Smooth might have went about it the wrong way, but I think
that's a
it is
totally-
pretty
again,
clear
that's
that
a
this is
totally
like
different
like
scenario.
a very much more sanitized scenario. You're literally in like a hotel hallway. There's nothing but this guy and wall and floor between you, right? You literally have gun drawn, trained on this guy, finger
Pretty nice gun,
probably
too.
on the trigger if you're disciplined, right? And like ready to shoot this guy. This is literally like the reaction time video game where you're just waiting to hit click the mouse when the screen changes color.
that easy.
It's not even like it's not like he's like
I got you.
the cop is reacting. Like
Yeah, here's a good
like,
way. Yeah, he's not reacting. That's crazy. Here's a good way.
Right.
Here's a good way to end this. Really
Wait,
quick.
hold on.
Would it be
He's not
possible-
like he's
would it be-
reacting
sure.
to a
Would it be-
dynamic situation,
Okay, yeah, I
right?
got you.
In
Whatever.
which there
Would
are
it be
lots of other
possible-
variables going on.
Would it be possible?
right?
Would it be possible for the guy to deliver a killing blow in less than 2 seconds?
Always. What the
Two-
hell?
Would it
one-
be
2
possible?
seconds
Would it be possible
Would
to
it be
beat the
possible-
trigger finger?
Just answer the
Hold on, Fanatic.
Top
Hold
Dolphin,
on. We
I'm
have to
asking you,
address the
as you were
inverse as
talking.
well.
Top Dolphin, I'm asking you as you were talking. Would it be possible for the guy to deliver a killing shot in less than 2 seconds
All
with
right,
his
so
hands already on his back if he had a gun in his back?
I don't know exactly how long it'll take, right?
No, I didn't
But
ask
I
that
can tell
question.
you-
I didn't ask. No.
No,
I didn't ask that
no.
question.
Let him
I'm
answer.
gonna answer. I'm gonna answer.
Let him
how long would it
answer.
take. I didn't
Let
ask.
Top Dolphin
I didn't
answer.
ask.
Come on.
I didn't ask exactly how long it would take. I said, would it be possible to deliver a killing blow within less than 2 seconds? That's the question.
That
Answer
doesn't
it.
matter. Your question
Doesn't
is
matter.
like
Don't
it's
tell me
so
it doesn't
far
matter.
away,
So now
right?
you're running. Now you're
Hold on.
running.
I
from
know.
the
Hold
question
on. Wait.
because I got
I'm
you
gonna give you an
before.
answer
I
if you
knew
let me
it.
talk for
No,
more than
no.
2 seconds.
Then
Jesus
answer-
Christ!
no, you're
Like
saying it
you,
doesn't
all
matter.
right. If
Answer
you
the
wanna
question. You've
go
already tried to
off
answer
on
the
your like
question.
fucking
Answer the
tangent right
question.
now, but you can
Why
wait.
are my
Question.
dads
You wanna wait,
arguing?
right? I'll answer
Are
your
you gonna
question,
answer
but
the
I'm not gonna
question?
give you a
Dolphins
fucking
like that guy in the
robotic
hallway
yes
right
or
now.
no, right? Because
If you're not
when
gonna
we're
give me a yes or
talking
no, then you're not
about
answering
fucking
the question.
pulling
You're not
wanted
giving
triggers,
me
McDonald's.
That's exactly
pulling
my
guns-
point,
Hey,
and you
Fanatic,
know it.
dog.
I see
Okay.
through
My
it.
dads are
Okay,
arguing.
You see
That's
through
the
your
question.
bullshit.
You
Hold
know
on,
it,
Top,
and you
hold on.
refuse to
Fanatic,
answer.
Fanatic,
I'm
Top
gonna get-
Dolphin's got to answer. So like you,
Alright.
you
He's
cannot
not
accept,
answering.
you cannot accept his question, his answer later on. Let him do it. So Top
Just
Dolphin, please.
don't reach for your
So-
pants, Dolphin.
So
not gonna
the
answer.
answer, so the question you're asking, right, is like the equivalent of saying, like, is
No,
it
this- he's
possible
not answering the
that
question.
someone
Stop,
can?
stop.
He's rephrasing the question.
I don't
This is
care.
not a
Let him
real-
let
He's
well,
wasting
let him
my
respond,
time. I'm done
and
with
you
it.
can
Listen, I
respond.
love you guys. I gotta go. I got
Divorce
something to get
sounds
into. All
like.
right, peace.
All right, fine.
Losers
Is that
Top,
what-
Top Dolphin, you
it-
can still respond. Go
Wow.
ahead.
All right. So all I was gonna say, right, is that fucking
Still in the
when
call.
you're talking about seconds, right? and gunfights, you've already missed the conversation. This is like saying, how long does it take someone to run a mile? And it's like, could someone run a mile in 3 hours, right? Like, you've missed the time frame, because when it comes to like firearms, things happen in milliseconds, right? Like milliseconds, fractions of seconds, right? And and reaction times are like, I think average human reaction time is like 0.2 seconds or something like that. It's extremely short. When you say like, can this happen in 2 seconds? That's like a ridiculous question, because like the answer is probably yes, but it doesn't matter, because like let's say it could take him like 1.5 seconds to pull the gun and shoot. You could pull the trigger in like 0.3 seconds every time.
Though. But you could have had a bomb, right? You could have blew up the whole building. Like, this is the dumbest paranoia in the world.
Maybe he could pull out like a grenade and blow behind his back.
He could have pulled out a rocket launcher and then have blown up the building.
And by the way, in this case, they received the call that somebody reported that a rifle was being pointed out a window. So they knew there was they knew that there was, if there was a gun, it was potentially a rifle. No, they didn't.
But was there a chance of him being John Wick?
There was a rifle. Right? They didn't confirm that there was a gun. They were investigating whether or not there was a gun. So to assume that the guy is armed with a pistol while he's crawling down the hallway, drunk off his ass, saying, please don't kill me, is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not even saying that the guy should have been charged with murder, right? Because maybe based on the laws that exist, like, he was innocent because he was found not guilty. I haven't looked at the specific cases.
I'm not going to accept this, Top Dolphin. Look, he could have been John Wick. He could have been John Wick.
Shut the fuck up, you. But it's so obvious, right, to anybody who knows anything, right, that this situation shows the fundamental failing of police procedure in the United States, right? Especially if he followed procedure to a T and that's the outcome, then procedure is broken. Because I don't know about you, but if like someone like B-More or Smooth or Sig Natural or whoever else can go overseas and like have the danger of someone have to wait till they can actually see a metal firearm before they can fire.
No, wait. When I was deployed, my first deployment, I was told, don't fire under no circumstance. Some of us went out with guns that were empty because of this. It was literally just a show of force. And yes, we got shot at. Like, so I don't want to hear it.
But I mean, but let's say you're given the ability to shoot, right? You're not allowed to shoot at combatants.
Don't talk about New Jersey like that.
So here's the thing. Depending on the situation, rules of engagement change, right? Yeah. I've been in other situations where fire is fired upon. But I'm just saying, I've been in situations where there was no shooting under no circumstance.
New Jersey ain't that bad, bro.
What I'm saying is,
calm down.
Like, if you guys can do that, like when we're policing our own fucking citizens of the United States,
we can't have rules of engagement.
It's reasonable that the cop can wait till he sees the gun. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There needs to be some type of rules of engagement. Like, it can't just be I'm scared.
Exactly.
Bitch, I'm scared.
100%. And
we need
you
to
guys,
bring back black policing in communities.
What you guys don't know, what a lot of you guys don't know, if you guys are new to this channel, hit the follow button. Is that the Jacob Blake incident, which is the other incident he brought up, the second incident he brought up, where a guy reached like into his car and the cops like lit him up. That was Fanatiq's origin story here. He came on the open panel, and we fought him tooth and nail on that one. So I knew where this is gonna go.
Oh, is that why he run in like the Road Runner? Like
the Jacob Blake situation is so much more dynamic because, like, from what I understand, like the guy was like trying to like potentially kidnap children, and there were children in the car, and they like potentially already seen a knife. Like I don't remember all the specifics, but like even that situation is so far removed from the situation we're talking about, where the guy was basically playing a video game, staring down, waiting for the guy to pull a gun, and he pulled it too early. Right? He pulled the trigger too early, and a man lost his life.
Okay.
Yeah. And this wasn't even a black guy. Had it been a black guy, he would have shot him before he started crawling down the hallway, right? Like,
okay,
yeah, and
there's much more effective ways to get someone down the hallway than to play the game that they did. Like,
fucking bring
hands on the ground.
We got
like, check them out. Like what?
I think we got it.
Entertainment purposes.
We got it.